all good to go. All right, fantastic, good stuff. So guys, thank you so much for having us back, Todd and Herc again, and all the Pixel Scout members on the line today. We are freaking excited to be here. The cold email training and sales script training that I did with you guys was absolutely fantastic. Had a lot of you guys reaching out to me personally, thanking me and saying how great it was. And I know that so many of you guys loved Rob's training as well. And so the goal here is to try to bring everything all together for you guys. One of the things that kind of struck me at the end of my training presentation was when I was helping you guys build scripts, right? My in the pinch, right, script formula. A lot of you guys were writing scripts or pitching services as a foot in the door that weren't retargeting. And folks, I think you kind of missed the boat there. So today, I want you guys to take away, obviously, my tips from building an $83,000 a month, just over $83,000 a month agency, and I want to share my takeaways from that. But the other thing that I have to make sure that we take away from today is that you guys are all going to be leading. You guys are all going to be talking to business owners, right, about retargeting, and that's what you guys are going to lead with, all right? So does that sound like a good use of the next hour, hour and a half of our time? If so, just give me a 3 in the chat box, and we'll officially get things kicked off. Grab a sip of water here. All right, fantastic, fantastic, good stuff. All right, so again, guys, my goal today is uber simple. I want to give each and every one of you guys and gals an unfair advantage for your business. Okay, for 99% of you guys that are on this training right now, right, with us live, that's an offer that no one in the industry or in the niche can say no to. That's how I'm going to give you guys this unfair advantage. And at the same time, you're going to be able to outsource the lifting, so you don't have to do it yourself, the fulfillment yourself, right? And at the end of the day, keep 75% margins. Okay, and by the end of the webinar, there's going to be a ton of you guys wanting to implement the very same service, right, for your own business. It's just that much of a no-brainer, all right? The fact is, what you guys discovered today on this webinar will flat out work for quite any business. I mean, what I mean by that is fundamentally this works, right? No matter what you're building traffic for. Okay, it works for local businesses, right? It works for online businesses. It works for authors and coaches and info products and e-com and affiliate marketing and your own products and services. And it just doesn't stop there, right? So really this is gonna open up the doors for you guys, so to speak, because it doesn't just stop there. Every business needs traffic, right? And this really works for any business that's looking for more traffic and sales, right? So the only business it may not work for is the local government, right? That's about all Rob and I could really think of. So real quick, guys, this is me on the right there, and the taller one with the hair, right? The shorter one on the left is Rob without the hair. And we're coming to you guys today from Invisible PPC. My background when I got started in this space was more SEO. And that's how Todd and I first actually connected. We're both SEO geeks at heart. I know some of you guys have project supremacy and are big SEO nerds like Todd and I, or at least like the benefits of it. And I was fortunate enough when I got into the industry to rank for some of the toughest keywords like you could ever go after, like single digit keyword phrases, things like ranking in Google for watches, right? Ranking #1 in Google for watches, ranking #2 in Google for fat loss. And that's been one of the big concentrations for me in helping my students. And from there, I went into paid advertising, had the opportunity to work with many of the top 500 internet retailers. I built, acquired, and sold multiple agencies. And the last agency that I built essentially got it to do $83,000 a month, which is $1 million in annual recurring revenue in just 4 months. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about some of my takeaways and what I wish I would known, right, when I was building that agency, right? I've now teamed up. I'm running with Invisible PPC. I'm now a partner at Invisible PPC with Rob Warner. And it just makes sense because they're a PPC fulfillment company, right? They're a Google channel partner agency. They're managing over $2 million a month in monthly ad spend, right? They're generating over 7,000 monthly phone leads. And folks, at the end of the day, they're working with over 1,000 successful marketing agencies. You can't say that about many white label resellers out there today. So Rob and I, guys, are prepared to just do our damnedest to absolutely blow you away today. So today on the training, you guys are going to discover what I believe is the perfect foot in the door PPC offer, which is capable of giving you guys a 75% profit margin. I don't care who you are. When it comes to pay-per-click, nobody in this industry, no matter what type of pay-per-click you're selling, right, can give you guys a 75% profit margin, right? Those are like SEO level profit margins, right? Not PPC. Okay, we're gonna talk about why focusing on saving sales for your clients, first and foremost, as your foot in the door offer, is gonna give them the biggest wins. And it's also, quite honestly, guys, the easiest PPC service that you could ever be selling. We're gonna talk about how you guys can literally hand off 95% of the hard work, hint, hint, invisible PPC, right? Leaving you guys to focus on, right, the 5% that's most profitable for your business, and that's the sales side of it, right? Then we're gonna be talking about the Omni approach. And the Omni approach is super simple, guys. It's the approach that gets clients to basically upsell themselves. AKA, they come on board, you start doing business for them, right? You outsource the work, and they come back to you a month in and say, man, this is amazing. Thank you so much. A couple days later, you get a message from them saying, hey, Rob, hey, Joe, right? Hey, Adam, hey, Todd, right? This is amazing, but I need some more leads. What can you do for me, right? So they'll come to you. A lot of times we found just asking essentially to be upsold and turning to you as the expert. I'm also going to talk just a little bit, as long as we have time, guys, about why landing whale-sized clients is a bad idea. And folks, you could say that for a long time, for many, many years, as I've been in this industry, I've been in this industry for over 13 years building agencies, I was a whale hunter, right? I'd go build, or I'd go, stock down my clients, stock down my prey, and land huge PPC deals. Okay, the last big PPC deal that I landed was a client that had 2 different pay-per-click accounts serving 2 different verticals, right? This business, completely 2 different businesses, 1 business owner, a serial entrepreneur. Both account was spending over $80,000 a month inside of each. So one big whale, right? Spending over $150,000 a month in pay-per-click, right? I charged them 20% of ad spend. So you guys can do the numbers, right? Over $30,000 a month in income from one client. And guys, I got to tell you that there's some big flaws and there's some big problems with whales. And I'd really like to get into that if we have time. And why I really believe that serving the average business owner is actually going to benefit your guys' bottom line and build you a much more stable, repeatable business. And to be frank, guys, again, in my decade plus in this marketing agency business, right, I went from just being a freelancer to having teams and buying and selling multiple agencies now. I've done a lot of things right? I can pat myself on the back a little bit, but folks, to be frank, I've done even more things wrong, okay? And the simple reality of it is that I win because I don't stop. Okay, every single time I get knocked on my ass, and guys, I get knocked on my ass all the time, just like you guys, right? But I get back up, right? I'm not special. Like, truly, I'm just headstrong, I'm thick-headed, and no matter how many times I get to knock to the floor, I get up, okay? And I always reflect upon the mistakes, right? There's always a lesson to be learned in a mistake, right? And again, guys, there has been an absolute metric ton of those mistakes, right? Being in this space for 13 years, right? I'd like to share with you guys what I've discovered, right? From working with local businesses and training quite literally thousands of agencies. Okay, specifically, what I want to talk to you guys about is the top things that I can impress upon you to ensure that you don't end up, guys, with quite as many bumps and bruises as I did, okay? Because I know today that there's a much smarter, frankly, much more effective way of doing things, okay? So, first things first, right? Takeaway number 1. I want to talk to you guys about my first discovery, right? So my first discovery, folks, is that you need to primarily focus on selling one thing, okay? You need to have one message that you get down really, really well. And guys, this is one of the things that concerned me when I did the cold email training with you guys, right? So in my last agency, again, we went from 0 to 83,000 a month recurring in just 4 months. And one of the biggest takeaways, in fact, the first takeaway is simple, right? Again, you should be focusing primarily on selling one thing, one product or service. And this is what I did in that agency. This one sale though, this one product that you're selling though, if it's the right product and you're selling it correctly, should end up like a domino effect. It should lead open the door to the next sale, right? Because of the results and the positioning of the product, right? If you do a good job, you have one product that you're selling and it automatically gets you that second sale, that upsell, right? So if you bring a ton of value to a business owner in a very professional and non-confrontational way, and some of you guys are leading with a little too much friction, I can tell you from my experience, if you can do this in a very non-confrontational way where you're adding lots of value, it would make sense that they'd come back to you and say, thanks, Rob, right? Thanks, John, thanks, Mike, right? Now I need more leads, what do I do? You see, folks, to be 100% honest, the only reason, quite literally the only reason I was able to build my last agency so quickly was because I nailed it. And what I mean by nailed it is I nailed the messaging. Right? I nailed the sales process. I nailed the script and I nailed the fulfillment. I mean, again, it may seem obvious, folks, but nailing all of that, right? The messaging, the sales process, right? The sales script and the fulfillment for one product is a whole lot easier than doing it for 3 products, 4 products, or 5 products. Guys, give me some feedback in the chat. Give me a 2 if you primarily sell more than one front-end product, meaning when somebody comes to you and says, well, what do? You're like, yeah, I do marketing. So we do SEO and pay-per-click and Facebook and we do Google and we do, right? And your list just goes on and on and on and on, right? It's like diarrhea of the mouth. The person just looks at you cross-eyed and they're like, okay, thanks, great chatting with you, right? Folks, growing that fast was absolutely insane. Like it was like just all that I could do, frankly, to just hang the F on, right? Try not to drop the F-bomb this early in the webinar. See, at the end of the day, months 1 through like months 1.5, right? That first 45 days or so was really setup, right? Setting up the company, the merchant accounts, the strategy, the LLC, right? Getting the agreements done, meeting with attorneys and building out a team, right? Trying to build out a framework for me to run fast with, right? Building a website, hiring people. This shit's exhausting, right? Then months 1 through 4, well, months 1.5 through 4 were just me, guys, purely doing zero inventing. I was just running a system. I was just running a process, right? I was just executing the process, running that process as hard and as fast as I possibly could. So again, it was really only me selling for about 2.5 months. How many of you guys here have read this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller? Right, Gary Keller's the guy that started Keller Williams Realty. He co-authored this book with this guy, Jay Papasan. Amazing book. If you guys haven't picked it up, absolutely amazing book. So I'm going to try to boil down the book as highest level as I can for you guys. And I think that this quote does a good job. So Gary says, what is the one thing, right? The name of the book. What is the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? Okay, folks, I ask myself this question every single day. When I'm looking at my to-do list, I ask this question. When I'm talking with prospects, in the back of my head, I'm asking this question. Again, what's the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it, everything else on your to-do list, right, is easier or unnecessary? For me, this comes 100% back to focusing on selling the right foot in the door product. Does this make sense to everybody? Give me a 3 if that makes sense, right? If we just focus on this, the rest becomes like a domino effect, right? Okay, Carl says, great book, 3. All right, fantastic. Lots of 3s. Okay, cool. So the second thing, folks, that I discovered is that by all means, your foot in the door needs to be irresistible, but even more than that, it has to apply to everybody. it has to apply to everybody, okay? It needs to apply and be able to be sold to like every company, not to a percent of a percent of a percent. I screwed the pooch on this one for a really long time, folks. Even in my last business, right? The one that we're talking about my takeaways from. If I would have been able to sell to more companies, right? I probably would have taken that thing to 2 or 3 million in the same amount of time in annual recurring revenue. See, when you sell to a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a market, it makes it uber hard. Because every prospect you talk to, you're like, yeah, I can't sell this to you. Yeah, I can't sell this to you, right? It makes sales just uber hard. When somebody asks you out in public, a friend of the family, somebody that you just meet, right? Whether it's, you know, again, personal, or whether you're just shooting the shit with somebody, you're at the bar, right? You're at a networking event or a conference, and somebody asks you, what do you do? When you focus on, right, a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a market, or you aren't a specialist, in the back of your head, you're like, what do I tell this person I do? What's the connection here? Do I tell them I build websites, or that I market local businesses, or that I do Google ads, or SEO, or Facebook ads, or shit? What do I say? Yeah, I do internet marketing. How many of that sounds like you? Give me a 4 in the chat, right? See, my offers when I go out to approach the local market have always only worked for a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of the market. And I've always thought I was cool for that, guys. I always thought that was awesome, right? Here's what I mean. In the last agency that I had, we sold to only service companies. Specifically, we sold to HVAC, roofing, and plumbing, okay? And we only sold to those 3 niches, right, that had at least 3 crews or 3 trucks to do work, and that were doing at least over $1 million in sales, and they must be spending money with Google ads, and at the end then, they had to be spending at least $5,000 a month on Google ads, right? So again, guys, I narrowed my funnel to a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a percentage, and guys, I thought that that was cool. I just anti-sold myself to 99% of the market, right? In a traditional funnel, we have a lot of prospects, right? A lot. From the top, it says, wide as the funnel gets. Essentially, guys, what I caught myself doing was turning around the funnel. My funnel at the top was narrow. Again, I was only focused on a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. And guys, to be frank, to just be blunt, this isn't good. We have next to no prospects in the market. When we're out talking with people and they say, what do you do? We can't frickin' answer that. So by the time somebody gets to the bottom of the funnel, there are like quite literally not very many qualified prospects or sales or opportunities even left, because the top of the funnel was so skinny, right? Because we focused on a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. Does that make sense? Give me a 5 if that makes sense to everybody. Is this sinking in? Please tell me that this is sinking in, right? You got to have a big freaking wide offer that applies to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the marketplace. That's what you want. And then if you can nail your messaging on what your product does, that thing is going to freaking explode, right? All right, good, sinking in. Chat is freaking blowing up. You guys are interactive today. I love it. You guys are gonna get the best version of me. That's for damn sure today, all right? All right, so then big discovery number 3, again, is all about saving sales for your clients first, because that's what gives them the big win, right? And again, we talked about how it's also the easiest PPC service that you could be selling. So, here's the thing. When I sell a product as a foot in the door product, I want it to be able to get customers demonstratable proof, demonstratable leads, demonstratable return on investment. That simply means that I can prove it. How many of you guys feel the same way, right? I assume most of you guys, that's probably why you guys are all here, right? Retargeting works. right? We want to be able to show that. We want to be able to lead with value. And here's what I did for you, Mr. Customer, right? We want to be able to be turned to as that expert for that local business. We want to lead with value. So what I found here is that you got to be careful. Got to be careful though. When your first sale with a local business or any type of business owner is getting them leads and phone calls and sales, you got to be really, really careful. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. Look, in my last business, I sold calls. I sold pay-per call and lead generation, right? Leads. And at the end of the day, the only two factors that local business owner that I sold, right, could evaluate my performance on were based on price, how much does it cost per lead, and quality. And if you're selling results, if you guys are selling, right, pay-per-call or pay-per-lead, you got to be careful, because again, those are the only two factors that they can actually judge you on. How many of you guys think that a local business owner understands their cost per lead? Right? Even if they're running Google ads to the tune of $5,000 a month, how many of them do you think are really understand their numbers and really have their tracking set up correctly, right? And understand how their assistants or the person answering the phone is doing closing the business, and they're listening to calls and they're training their team. How many of you guys think that people in the local market are really doing that and that they understand that? Give me a 2 if you know for a fact that they don't understand that they have no freaking idea. No, they have no idea. So you got to be really, really careful, folks, at the end of the day, selling a lead gen product to a local business. Okay, there's kind of a big glaring hole that nobody really talks about. If you sell traffic or leads, folks, this is it. There's no benchmark, right? There's no benchmark. There's no way for you to compare what you're doing. And so all that people are going to say is, I want more for cheaper, and I want more of them, right? So the conversation is always better leads, more volume, right? Less cost, and those things don't go together. Give me a 5 if that's a big aha moment for you guys. Hopefully you guys got that last point, that third discovery as well, because this is a big one, and this will save you guys so much time, effort, and heartache being out there as a local agency. I promise you guys. Okay, again, the problem is there's no benchmark. So it's like comparing apples and oranges, right? There is no fair apples to apples comparison. Let me grab a sip of water here. The lesson is, for me, when I look at building another agency, there's criteria that I have in that agency. And the lesson for me that I apply, right, and the criteria that I apply is I never want my first impression with a company to be based upon a comparison that I can't control. Okay, so let's kind of take this out a little bit higher. Let's zoom this thing out for a second. Okay, so if you sell a lead generating product and have never done business with a business owner, right? You sell Google ads, you sell Facebook ads, you sell pay-per-lead, you sell pay-per-call. There is always going to be the problem with the benchmark where people don't understand the value of what you're selling them, okay? And they will compare it to other costs in their business that aren't really fair. They will compare it price-wise and also quality-wise. So they'll say something to you like, you know, those Facebook ads, they just aren't quite as good as my referrals. Well, no shit, it's a referral, right? Right? Those Google ads and those phone calls that I get, they don't really know me, so they're, you know, it's not as good of a lead as a referral. And guys, people really say this, right? So those leads don't convert as well as my referral, so I can't afford to pay that much. Does that make sense? There's no benchmark. Okay. They'll say things like, those phone call leads cost more than Facebook form leads. Yeah, and? right? How many form leads did you have to get to turn into one phone call, right, though, Mr. Business Owner? Right, so folks, when you have a foot in the door product, I get it that you want to add value, you want to show results, but these aren't fun conversations to have with prospects, okay? These aren't fun calls, and if you're not careful, you almost come in adversarial. Does that make sense? Where you're having to defend yourself, and then the local business owner is defending themselves, right? And then there's all kinds of ego at play, and before you know it, you've smashed the opportunity in a bad way to ever be able to do more business or to ever upsell that next product or service. John Corbett is like, just gave me like 100 Ys in the chat, right? He got it. Okay, look, at the end of the day, I want to look like a savior to the local business that I'm prospecting to ASAP, as soon as freaking possible, right? I want what I'm doing to help that local business owner with every part of their business model that they're already running, right? I want to look like $1 million, and with my foot in the door product, by default, I need to be able to become the business's trusted advisor. And if you're not careful, there's some freaking big old landmines. Okay, real quick, give me a 6 if this has been a freaking eye-opening training so far. Like, this is some good stuff. Are you guys following with me? We on the same path? I'm on one today. You guys are getting the best. All right, got to be careful with this, all right? You got to make sure you don't end up in that adversarial relationship, right, where egos are getting involved and you have no benchmark, right? And you're comparing apples to oranges. Folks, I discovered this the hard way, frankly, way too many times. Okay, so you guys get to cheat and you guys get the easy way. Okay, I'm going to break down what it is that we're selling now. I'm going to break down the positioning of what we're selling now. I'm going to break down how we're selling it, and the positioning gets us past all of the last 3 discoveries that we just talked about. And I want you guys to be super, super critical and pay uber attention to the detail and to my wording. Okay, because you guys are going to be able to take this and you guys are going to use this and be able to use this immediately in the marketplace. Okay, so my wording right here on this webinar is going to become your wording. Okay, you're going to be able to pitch a local business owner or any type of business owner, right? Just like I'm talking about now. So take down the case studies, take down the quotes as I share them with you guys, all right? So essentially, folks, what we're selling now, at the end of the day, at the highest level, is essentially a virtual salesperson, right? One that works 24/7, following up with prospects. And that is better than any local business owner's best salesperson. That can be fully automated and trained. Now think about that for a second. Mike says, this is Herc magnificent. Folks.
Not me talking though, Mike. This is Joe.
So folks, if you think about it, right? We have the hot chick at the bar. Yeah, I just made that analogy, right? It's the girl everybody wants to dance with. And no, I know what you're thinking, okay? First off, okay, she's not 10 cosmetic surgeries deep, plastered up with makeup and a pretty dress and 10 rounds of Photoshop. No. She's the real deal, right? She's the perfect girl to dance with. But she's also the perfect girl to take home, right? And the perfect girl to fall in love with. See, at the end of the day, folks, most marketing strategies are exactly what a local business needs, right? What a business that you're prospecting with needs. And that automatically means it's what they don't want. Guys, this is the first time in history I can confidently say that these two things have lined up perfectly. This is what they need, and it is also exactly what they need, right? It's exactly what they want, and it's also exactly what they need. So the great thing, right, with these two things lining up perfectly is that you can be the world's worst salesperson, and you can be the world's worst technician, and you can still be super successful with this. Okay, just to prove this point, Rob, I want to bring you on, and I want you to share how you did a no pitch training presentation and quite literally closed 30% of the room talking about what we're talking about here today.
Joe, thanks. And guys, for anybody, one thing you'll see that's missing from my bio or my intro when Joe announced me as the short, bald guy earlier, is I'm an accountant. I do numbers. I don't do selling. So I was asked to present to a group of 60 smart business owners, all local business owners, at a training event about 4 or 5 weeks ago now. Strictly no pitch. This is considered a grown-up event where they talk serious strategies and people add value. So I spent 75 minutes walking everybody through 3 things. The first thing was what they should be doing, in my opinion. The second thing was why they should be doing that thing. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about right now. And then the third thing I did in my true accountant style was I showed them how to do it. So I said, here, I'm going to give you the plan. Go and do it. Their response as they came to the back of the room after this presentation to hire me was, Rob, I've seen what you do. I think it's awesome. I feel like I've been in the Matrix. It's brilliant. Could you please do it for me? There's no way on earth I want to do that for myself. And a third of the room closed themselves. The owner of the room then said, Rob, we don't do promos, but we'd love to put you out to get you as a service in front of all our audience because they all need this. Can we work out a deal? I've never had that happen. I've been going to that group, seen it happen. I've been there 2.5 years.
That's a great story, right? You guys can see that we have the hot chick at the bar, right? Right? As I said, we have that chick that everybody wants to dance with. And guys, things change when you have that, right? So later, I promise, guys, I'll share with everybody how to get access to Rob's presentation, right? The PowerPoint or the keynote presentation deck or both. Why? So that you guys can use it too, of course, right? But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's reel this thing back in, and let's share a quick case study, right? So this is a South Florida window replacement company, right, that was able to take our system, take what we're talking about today, and generate 41% more leads at 20% of the cost. That's hot, right? And I'm sure each and every one of you guys would be able to, or want to be able to offer something just like this. Okay, but first, guys, I just got to give a disclaimer that results are not typical, right? This is not a get-rich-quick program, nor do we believe in magic push-button fairy tale successes, right? We believe in hard work. We believe in working smart. We believe in integrity, right? And we believe in rolling up your sleeve and developing your skills, right? And as stipulated by law, guys, we cannot and do not make any guarantees about your ability to get results or earn any real money with our training, information, tools, or strategy. I mean, folks, we are freaking proud of our opportunity, okay? But it's important to understand that the vast majority of people, okay, will not derive an income with myself or my trainings or invisible PPC, right? The average person obviously doesn't really do anything, okay? And while this opportunity is unlimited, Rob and I have crushed it. Okay? Everybody in the marketplace is trying to buy it from us, as you guys will see. Okay? Individual results will certainly vary depending on lots of factors, countless factors, such as market conditions, your commitment level, your marketing skills, right? But you guys showed up here today. This means you guys are already taking a step in the right direction, right? You guys got Pixel Scout. You guys are on the right path, and you guys are 100% in the right place at the right time. Okay, so I share this case study, this crazy case study of this South Florida window replacement company with you guys. Here's the actual proof, okay? Because guys, I lead with value, okay? I lead with value, but I always lean back on proof, right? Whether I'm doing cold email, whether I'm talking with a local prospect, whether I'm running a webinar like I'm running, I'm gonna teach you guys the what, I'm gonna teach you guys the how, right? I'm gonna share with you guys the results that we get as well, and I always lean on proof. Okay, so this is an actual screenshot, right, of the case study that we were just talking about, taken directly from Google Ads. Okay, so what I want you to look at is the cost/conversion, right, in the top right, okay, for those first 2 campaigns, All right, so cost per conversion, $41.82, right? The other one, $29.56, okay? Versus, if you keep going down and you look at the next two campaigns, $114.11 for a single lead, right, a conversion, and $157 for a single conversion, right? So how are we getting these ridiculous results? Guys, I want to know in the chat, what are we doing to quite literally get leads for pennies on the freaking dollar? I want to know. If you guys, as Pixel Scout customers, can't tell me, we're going to have a problem. Guys, what are we doing? Okay, while you guys are typing that in the chat, I want you guys to check this out too. Okay, I want you to look at the column, and I know it's small, guys, I'm sorry. I want you guys to look at the column 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth over from the right? So over 5 spots from the right, average cost. And I want you guys to look at the cost per click difference. So the first two campaigns, 26 cents and 33 cents. And then let's look at the other campaigns. $6.58 a click, $12.14 a click, and $16.20 a click. What's the difference? What's the difference between the winners and the losers on this screen, guys? Remarketing and retargeting. Okay, on one platform, Facebook, they call it one thing. On Google Ads, they call it another. Okay, the solution is remarketing or retargeting. I'm going to use those words interchangeably, and so should you. It's the same freaking thing. All right, so 2 weekends ago, I'm at the beach with my family, right? Rob was just in town, right? We're working our tails off. I finally got home, and I'm like, oh man, like I got to take a break. The next day, like we woke up early with the family. We all went out to the beach, and it was great, right? Absolutely fantastic day. And the guy and his family sitting right next to us at the beach, like quite literally all day long, was just playing great music, right? Through some really loud and powerful Bluetooth speaker. Like I've never seen or heard a Bluetooth speaker pump and thump quite like this. Like it was just amazing. And I mean, the guy must have been like a freaking DJ, like no joke, just great vibes all day long. And that day I'll never forget, like guys, I got lobster fried by the sun. Like not just a little burnt, like I was almost turning purple, okay? So great freaking day, okay? Then last weekend, again, we go to the beach. But this time, there's no guy, there's no DJ, there's no thumping Bluetooth speaker. And guys, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't help myself but compare the day that I was having while I was at the beach with my kids hanging out to the day that I had a week ago, and the amazing beats and the amazing vibe that happened. So guys, while I'm sitting there at the beach, I get out my phone, my wife's yelling at me, what are you doing? I'm looking for a freaking powerful Bluetooth speaker right on Amazon. She's like, get the hell off your phone, right? You're at the beach, you've been working your tail off, right? Like, enjoy yourself. So I get distracted, I close out the, my phone, I put it away, right? Whatever. You guys have all been there. You've been on the search, on the hunt for something, right? And then something happens. Your wife yells for you, your husband across the house, right? You need to let the dogs outside or take the kids, to something or activity, or you got to take out the trash, whatever it is, you get distracted, right? So I left Amazon. The next day, you know what I start to see as I'm nursing my wounds, right? Ads for that JBL speaker, right? Ads for that JBL speaker. Retargeting, right? Remarketing. How many of you guys, because of an experience similar to what I just mentioned, have bought a product because of remarketing or retargeting, have called a company because of remarketing or retargeting, have taken the next action because of remarketing and retargeting? Yeah, freaking every Tom, Dick, and Harry on this webinar, right? All of us, everybody, right? And I'm sure you guys can guess who is now the proud owner of a JBL Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, this guy. The cool thing, guys, about remarketing and retargeting is that it just works. And pay attention again to these stats. Pay attention to the case studies that I share with you guys and use them, please. God, use them. So real estate, big niche out there, right? That each and every one of you guys could go in and could crush 16 out of 83 conversions. 16 out of 83 of their leads came from remarketing, 19%, right? At a cost per acquisition, cost per lead, right, of 25% of the account average. Costed 75% less than every other lead. And again, you guys could take this, run with this. Guys, this was an uber basic campaign. There was nothing, crazy or secret or anything ninja about this, right? You guys watched the last training with Rob. If you guys participated, you guys all have the step-by-step to do like what we did for this real estate campaign times 4 or 5. Remember when I said earlier that we're all selling essentially a virtual salesperson, right? That I'm selling eventually, or realistically, essentially a virtual salesperson, one that works 24/7, following up with prospects, right? Better than every local business owner's best salesperson that can be fully automated and trained. Folks, that's remarketing, right? I'm sure you guys have all seen stats like this, right? 80% of sales require 5 follow-up phone calls after the meeting. Or you've all heard the quote that it takes 10 touches, right, to make a sale. Remarketing is the easiest way to make those touches. And those touches or views, folks, they happen for pennies. Okay, in fact, in one of my recent campaigns, across all of the views and all the touches, quite literally tens of thousands of them, they happened for 2.5 pennies each. But it doesn't stop there, folks. Retargeting is the only advertising that improves every other advertising. I don't care what you're doing. It amplifies everything that you do. Every other paid traffic initiative or non-paid traffic initiative anybody out there is doing or using, it's going to amplify, and it's going to help them get better results. So if somebody's running Google Organic, right, they're ranking and they're getting traffic from that, guess what? Remarketing and retargeting is going to help them close more customers from that existing traffic that they already have. It's going to make their cost per acquisition less, right? If they're already running Google paid, right, and they're not running retargeting, and you guys see with Pixel Scout how many people aren't running some form of retargeting, it's ridiculous. If they're not running retargeting, but they're running Instagram, it's going to help strengthen Instagram, Facebook, their content, right? Everybody that comes to their website. Here's another quick case study for you guys. And again, guys, screenshot it, freaking use it, talk about it. 26% of conversions from retargeting. 26%. You guys better all take a screenshot of this slide, right? Website visitors who are retargeted with display ads are more likely to convert by 70%. Check out this last sentence, right? When a prospect sees a retargeting ad, there's a 70% chance that they'll purchase your product over your competitors. Boom, freaking mic drop. Could you ask for more in a pitch for a product? Could you ask for better case studies and results? Are you guys understanding that each and every one of you guys have got to be leading with remarketing and retargeting as your foot in the door offer? Please tell me yes, right? Use this. Remarketing and retargeting is essentially the lowest cost, highest yielding ads on the frickin' planet. Let me repeat that. Essentially the lowest cost, highest yielding ads on the planet. Say that to your customers. Use that line, right? Those two phrases do not belong together, so it works wonders. Lowest cost, highest yielding. Those two phrases do not belong together. So let's talk about an example. How can I prove this? How can you guys prove that they're the lowest cost, highest yielding ads on the planet? You do it by taking your customer, taking your prospect, taking whoever it is that you're talking to through an example like this, okay? So let's roll through an example. Let's role play together, right? So you got a personal injury attorney spending thousands of dollars a month on PPC, spending thousands of dollars a month on SEO, spending thousands of dollars a month in addition ranking in Google Maps. And I know some of you guys are like, yeah, come on, Joe, SEO is free. Trust me, they're paying for it, right? With your service or backlinks and citations and the content and everything else, they're paying thousands of bucks a month for it if they're ranking for personal injury related keywords. There's no way in hell they're not. Okay, so in the personal injury market, average cost per clicks are anywhere from $200 to $400 per click for like car accident related keywords. So let's say for sake of simplicity and just hedging our bets and dumbing down the numbers a little bit, let's just say that the cost per click is $200, right? Instead of the high end, let's go towards the small end. Let's be conservative. And the average conversion rate to get somebody on the call, let's say, is 1 in 10, right? 10% conversion rate. But let's play on this side, right? Let's play best case scenario, okay? So let's say that it's 1 in 5, 20%, which is high, right, folks? That would mean that the cost per lead, right, $200 cost per click times 5 clicks equals a lead, right, is $1,000 per lead. So the personal injury attorney is currently spending $1,000 per lead. So follow me here, right? They are willing and able to pay $1,000 per lead. You know why? Because they're doing this in every major market in the US, right? All the pay-per-click ad spots are full. There aren't any freaking empty spots for personal injury anywhere in the United States. Now let's take this at $1,000 per lead, right? And let's talk about remarketing, right? Let's compare that to remarketing. Okay, so with remarketing, you're getting leads, you're getting clicks for pennies on the dollar. Let's say that your cost per click costed even $1. And I shared multiple case studies and multiple screenshots with you guys where cost per click was 20 cents or 30 cents or 40 cents, right? So even at $1, that would be high based upon the case studies that I've shared with you guys on today's webinar, right? So again, let's say we only convert at 10% instead of 20%, right? So again, hedging our bets, dumbing down the numbers, that's a $10 lead with remarketing versus a $1,000 lead with Google search. Give me a 9 if that's an aha moment, like you got it. And you could take a prospect through this and they'd be like, where do I sign, right? Show me the money. Greg, will you do this? Dorn, will you do this? Randy, please freaking do this for me, right? You guys see it? And you guys could take a prospect through this math, right? So guys, at the end of the day, what attorney wouldn't gladly, happily, as fast as you asked, pay you $1,000 a month to help them add 10, 20, 30, or even 40% more leads to their business for $1,000 a month, right? Yeah, William says it's a no-brainer decision. Dorn says a stupid one. Yeah, one you wouldn't want to do business with anyway, right? So guys, later on in this presentation, I'm going to share with you guys how to fulfill on this $1,000 a month price point, right, client at a 75% margin where you don't have to do any of the fulfillment. Meaning you don't do any of the fulfillment, you make the sale, right, and you take home $750 a month. Okay, again, what I want to ask you guys and gals on this training webinar, right, is why retargeting. I want you guys to have the assets. I want you guys to know why. When somebody asks you, you know 5 reasons immediately to tell them why remarketing and retargeting is the answer. Because if you have that in your back pocket, right, you guys blowing up your business is going to be pretty much a sure thing. So why retargeting? The lowest cost, highest yielding ads on the planet. Now, obviously, folks, to be fair, not every niche is created equal. An attorney's lead cost and the value of a lead to him or her, right, to an attorney is going to differ a ton, right, from a florist, right? That makes sense. We all get that, right? You may have to, if you want to work with a local florist as a customer, right, or somebody who where their average lead cost or what they can afford to pay for a lead isn't as high, right? You might have to drop your fee to $750 to get the florist as a customer, and you might not be able to make quite 75%. Make sense? Right? If you really want that customer. Okay, if I were in each and every one of your guys' shoes today, I'd pitch the service at $1,000 a month. If they say no, right? And if they say no, I'm going to teach you guys a little sales tactic here. I would make sure that price is the only issue and that there's nothing else stopping them from buying, right? And say, if you had to pick, Mr. Prospect, right, the perfect price for this, right, for you to immediately say yes, what would it be? And then you shut up. Okay, I call this the name your price close. Okay, and when they say, instead of $1,000, I'll give you $750 a month, you say, Don't just say yes, don't just jump, right? What I'd be willing to do is give you the service for $750 a month. But since you know so many people in the area, right, and you're in this floral industry, you're well known, okay, and I want your business, I'm willing to say yes, right? But since I'm not making my margin, I just ask for 2 to 3 referrals a month so that I can continue to grow my business. Fair enough, Dave? Fair enough? And you shut up. So not only are you getting them to name their price, for them to close themselves, for them to say that they don't have any other issues, it's just the price, but now you're growing your business rapidly because they're giving you 2 to 3 referrals each. So this is how you turn a yes, or you turn a no into a yes and get 2 to 3 referrals at the same time. Okay, but folks, don't be fooled. Even florists can afford this. Why? Because it's all about repeat business for a florist, right? I ordered flowers one time from a local place, just quite literally like right down the street, like less than a quarter mile. I ordered flowers for my wife one time from this place. I swear they have me now ordering flowers every single month, right? So for a florist, it's all about that average customer value and that repeat business, which is a great sell for retargeting. Like you should be even doing more retargeting for them. It's all about bringing that customer back in. Okay, so you take that pixel and you keep showing them offers. It's Mother's Day, it's this holiday, right? You came home last night, send your wife, you came home late last night, send your wife flowers, right? It's Valentine's Day, it's, Sweetest Day, it's this, it's that, send your wife flowers. They're gonna crush it with remarketing and retargeting. And guys, the opportunity, you guys should know more than anybody, okay, is the opportunity doing retargeting is off the charts, all right? I did an analysis of 28,593 local businesses spread out over the top most highly populated cities in the US, and only 9.4% are dropping a Facebook pixel. Okay, then when you expand that and you say, okay, counting everybody, what percentage of people are dropping a Google pixel, are dropping a perfect audience pixel, or dropping a LinkedIn pixel, or dropping a Twitter pixel, right? Or running remarketing ads on Instagram? We got 7% are doing one of those besides Facebook. And when we look, if we could look possibly at Omni pixel being everywhere doing retargeting across all the platforms so that they're making the most out of remarketing and retargeting, we'd be at less than 1%. Okay, so at most, right, we got at most on the high end, high end, 91% of businesses are leaving 10, 15, 20% or more, or a lot more of their sales on the table. And again, folks, the really ridiculous thing is that retargeting works by default almost, right? And it does that anywhere in the world. Okay, which is great for us, right? Quite literally every single one of us that's in the know and everyone on the call. We don't have to exactly be geniuses, right, to make retargeting work for businesses that we want to help and to look like $1 million to them at the same time, to really become their go-to expert. But there are some problems, right? At the end of the day, retargeting campaigns are uber cheap, right? So one of the big problems that you have is how do you change a prospect's mindset away from your fees being a percentage of ad spend to paying you guys, right, $1,000 a month, right? So there's no way to make the typical 15 to 20% of revenue or ad spend, right, management proposal that you would typically make if you're selling PPC, right? Because if they spend $100 a month because retargeting is so cheap and they have such little traffic, you charge 20% of that, and I mean, there's, folks, no money to be made. Does that make sense? Right? So there are some problems. There are some problems. Okay, but folks, we figured this out. Okay, we figured out how to get the value proposition of what we do to $1,000 a month with a 75% markup. Okay, by focusing strategically on results that it can bring, sharing case studies, okay, showing the work involved in how we do this, okay, how we exactly do this, and showing how cheap the spend is. We highlight that. Okay, the major way that we drive this point home is twofold, right? Case studies and results. Okay, again, guys, I lean heavily on results. Okay, and then showing all the freaking work that has to be done. Okay, At the end of the day, for those of you guys that have been out there selling agency services, how many times have you brought on a customer and they had all their tracking set up? They had analytics set up with conversion tracking, they're tracking their web form leads, they're tracking their phone calls. They got the same setup with AdWords, right? The same setup with Facebook. How many times? Never, zero, not very often, not one. It's never happened, right? So we have to do all that setup. Okay, that setup alone is a 55-page guide that we have. Okay, so we show our prospects the 55-page guide. Look at this. And what do you guys think that they say? Yeah, Phil, yeah, Gisela, yeah, Crawford, yeah, Doran, yeah, Randy, can you just freaking do this for me? Like, I don't want to do that. I understand it's important, and I understand now why I need to do it, but will you just please, for the love of God, do that for me? And guys, that's just the setup. How about the actual retargeting campaign setup? That's just like the tracking. How about all of the ad creations, the images and the ad and the video assets, right? Do you think a local business owner wants to handle that or even think about it? Of course not. That's silly, right? I mean, if they want to, that's fine. We have step-by-step training showing them how to do this. It's rather lengthy. Again, do you think that they really want to do it? Of course not, right? 9 times out of 10, they quite literally say, shut up and take my money. Okay, so without further ado, Rob, I want to bring you on here and I want to have you talk specifically about the fulfillment and how we walk business owners through this, right? Because Rob, guys, is the mad scientist behind the scenes that makes this work like gangbusters for local businesses, right? And at the end of the day, there's really 3 what we call omni-targeting secrets. And all of these three things, when we explain how they work and why we got to be doing them, make business owners shake their heads and say, yes, I understand. I need to be doing this, right? So this is going to be part of your pitch, okay? So remember these 3 secrets, okay? You guys ready for Rob? If you guys are ready and you guys are loving today, please give me a big 9 in the chat, okay? And give it up for my business partner at Invisible PPC, Rob Warner. You got the stage, brother.
Right, guys. It's good to get involved here. Right. Joe's already introduced you to the 3 omnis and the idea of being omnipresent and omni-targeting our prospects and their prospects. Now, first things first, business owners won't have heard about omni-targeting before. So even using the language omni-targeting, you've immediately separated yourself out from a crowd because it's new, it's novel, they've never heard of it. And there are 3 things that make omni-targeting successful. And they are secret number 1, what we call omni-relevance. Number 2, omni-channel, and number 3, omni-rotation. I'm going to go through them one at a time for you. So let's start with omni-relevant. What does omni-relevant mean? It's really simple. It just means repeatedly showing up. Whatever a prospect for a business owner is doing, we show up. Prospects don't buy the way they used to buy. If you look at all the data and all the stats, their buyer's journeys are a nightmare of devices, places, locations. And so if we want to be omni-relevant, then we have to get our targeting set up right. And the way that we do this, step number 1, Joe's already touched on it. Set tracking up properly. At Invisible PPC, we onboard campaigns daily. And we never, ever get campaigns that come on where tracking is perfect. Maybe once a month, and that's it. Once a month, we see a good one and we all clap. But the rest of the month, it sucks. Get the tracking set up. Get your ads created. Build out the retargeting campaigns. Create audiences. One of the things that matters to be relevant and omni-relevant is to be giving people the message at the right time. A person who visited a website a week ago or yesterday is different from one who visited 3 weeks ago. We need to treat them differently. So we build out lots and lots of audiences so that our omni message is omni-relevant at the right time. We then want to go omni-channel. And what does omnichannel mean? It simply means we show up on every major platform. So we show up on Facebook, we show up on Instagram, we show up on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Google, on YouTube, on Gmail, on Traffic Fuel, all the places that we all hang out online. So do your clients prospect. So we hang out there. Now, we don't use every single channel for every single campaign because sometimes you can't. LinkedIn might not be appropriate for some. On some markets, you can't use Google. But that's why we have an array of platforms that we can use so that when platform A isn't available, we go to platform B. And when they're all available, we just blow it up everywhere. We want our clients to look like the biggest fish in the pond to their local community of prospects who are already engaged with them. And then what we can do is by using the Google Display Network, which puts banner ads on millions of websites. Some of those websites are some of the biggest websites in the world. So we get to play off their authority. We're hanging out with the big boys. Your clients, your dental client, your florist, your law client is hanging out on CNN, on About, on TechCrunch, on Business Week. They are the big dog in town. And everybody who's in their ecosystem, who's a prospect, has their mind blown. They're like, heck, this guy must be blowing it up because everywhere I go, I'm seeing him. They must be absolutely crushing it. But the challenge is that's a lot of platforms. We've already talked about a bunch of networks and a bunch of different platforms. The problem that comes with that, ads. We need lots of ads. And you can imagine a business owner when you say, hey, here's this omni-targeting. Here's how we're going to make you the biggest fish in this pond. And by the way, if you're going to do that, then to be covered on all these channels, then you're going to need 42 ads. Off you go find a designer. You know, you can see here, this is just one ad example. Look at all the sizes of different ads and even variations on this one ad message for one client. On that page alone, there's about 17 different ads for one single client. And think of a business owner. How many business owners do you know who would A, know how to get this done or know how to do it themselves, and B, even think about wanting to do it? They're never going to be interested in a million years at doing this. And then finally, we need omni-rotation. What does omni-rotation mean? It means changing our banner ads often and controlling how often they're seen. We all know what happens if you don't change banner ads. People go banner blind, they ignore them. Who wants to see the same old boring ad day after day after day after day? And not only does it bore your prospect, it costs them money, because the more often that an ad gets seen, and the lower the click-through rate. The lower the click-through rate, the higher the cost per click. Google and other platforms, they get paid on the cost per click. They only earn money when someone clicks an ad. So what do you think happens when your ads aren't being clicked? They start charging you more. So the banner binders problem that we have is that attention goes down. Your messages starts getting ignored. Clicks go down. So your traffic and the impact goes down. And your cost of doing business goes up. It's kind of like the worst of all worlds. But if we cap our frequency right and we get everything else in place, then we can stay in front of people for pennies on the dollar. You can see here, we ran a campaign. We targeted 5,000 people for a month, and we did it by using a huge array of different ads. And by doing that, we spent less than $150. $150 was all it cost to stay in front of 5,000 people. That's 3 cents per person. So the first way we do that, we handle this banner blindness and we control this cost, is we drop the frequency. We don't want to be in their inbox 20 times a day. We don't want to be in their face 20 times a day, pounding them with a single ad. We take lots and lots of ads. Not just one, we take 10, 20, and we only let them see that once, twice, a handful of times. And that dramatically cuts our cost and it dramatically increases the impact. And we know that prospects who don't buy for one of three reasons. Everybody seen this? Give me a 4 in the chat now if you recognize why people and why you as individuals, when you're shopping around, when you don't put something in your cart, when you don't make the inquiry, it will be one of these reasons. You're looking for a good deal, you're looking for somebody reputable, or you're looking for something very specific. You're going through a buying cycle, and that's why you didn't buy first time. You weren't ready yet. And here's how we handle that. We run different types of ads. So we run offer ads, so that those people who are, price sensitive, they're at the stage where they're well in their journey, they're interested, they're thinking about buying, we're showing them offer ads. We want to get our best offer, our best client's message in front of them at absolutely the right time, and we do it with offers. We do branding ads, but not just pictures and logos that look pretty. We get the unique messages of the business out, so that when they're looking and when a prospect is choosing, do I go with company A or company B? Company B, our client, is the one who's been saying, hey, we've got a dedicated service team, we're accredited with this company, we've got a 20-year track record, we're fully insured. All those things that are branding messages that separate them out from the Yahoos, we want to be peppering those and mixing those into our messaging. And then we want to add in reviews. Now, we all know how much reviews influence us. We all know when we're thinking of booking a trip or we're thinking of buying something, the first thing we do is look at the reviews. Well, what if we do that and we push that at prospects of our clients? We don't wait for them to go hunting. The moment that they've been onto our prospects website, they start seeing ads with reviews and testimonials. I use these guys, they were absolutely awesome. How credible, how valuable is that for your clients in closing that deal and building that trust with their prospects? And finally, we go for a fourth angle as well. With retargeting, we don't just retarget for a week or a month. On some of the channels, we can retarget for up to 18 months, a year and a half. So what we do is we start swapping in seasonal messages. There is barely a month in the calendar where something doesn't happen that gives us a reason to run a promotion, run an event, or that isn't cyclical in our business. We all know that certain times of year, certain types of business get busy. At the moment, we're going into springtime. If you're in a warm state, then pools are getting opened up. Pools are getting ready to go. They're having their pre-season cleanup and fit out and refurb. That's the time to advertise a pool clean. If we go to the fall, they're advertising pool shutdowns. But it's the same visitor who came to our site months ago. We can leverage that for the longest time. And here's how we do it in what we call the local vortex. First 7 days, offers and reviews, the two most impactful things on getting that hot person to convert. Then we add into it USP, branding messages for the next week. Then we switch out the offer because they haven't responded yet, and we switch in seasonal messaging, and then we switch it in and we switch it out for different periods until right as long as we possibly can, where we're running annual offers based on season, based on time of year, and based on that market. So you can see. But that causes another problem. We already said banner creation sucks. Ads take time. We've got 3 different types of ads. We now need 126 ads. That's a huge amount of effort. That's a ton of ad creation, Batman. Anybody here think a business owner wants to take on the job of creating over 100 banner ads a month? So to recap it, omni rotation, secret number 3 is changing out our banner ads and our video ads frequently and controlling the frequency so that we don't get seen 10 times a day. A couple of times a day, every day is more than enough to control the message, get it home, and keep our costs low.
Give me a 3 if that was just like freaking amazing, right? And you guys see exactly how you can use the 3 omni targeting secrets to quite literally have your prospects eating out of the palm of your hand and saying, yes, please just do this for me, right? Can you guys see that? Can you see how we pitch this? Can you see how then we stack this with the case studies and the results, and how nobody can quite literally say no to us? Awesome. Thanks, Rob, man. You crushed that.
That was an absolute pleasure.
So again, guys, the 3 omni-targeting secrets. Secret number 1, be omni-relevant. Secret number 2, omni-channel. Be freaking everywhere, right? Secret number 3 is omni-rotation, all right? And guys, for those of you guys worried about ad spend and you just haven't done a lot of retargeting, okay, don't worry. Ad spend is cheap, right? Again, staying in front of 5,000 people for a month cross-platform, $150, okay? Suggested monthly ad spend for us folks being omni-channel, okay, and all the platforms and doing what we just went through, the 3 secrets, 90% of people, 90% of businesses fall in this first bucket or the second bucket, okay? And to be frank, most of them fall in this small business bucket. So $100 in ad spend, right, at 2.5 cents a view means they're getting about 3,750 views a month. And folks, at the end of the day, we just can't spend more than this for 90% of the businesses that we try to work with, right? They'd love to, like, this is crushing it. Can we do more? What do we do? And this helps us lead into the next sale. No, sorry, we're kind of maxed out. Okay, but there are some other campaigns you could run. Oh, there's some more campaigns we could run. Let's chat about that, right? And then we can upsell into other campaigns. So medium business, we advise, $250, which would get them about 9,500 views. Again, using an average, folks, here of 2.5 cents a view. A large business, we would say $500. And again, less than 10% of businesses would ever fall into this, or at least that's what we've seen so far. Average 2.5 cents a view would be 20,000 views per month, right? So once this is all done, right, you've done all the setup, right, and you've ran all the campaigns, you've built everything out, you can quite literally sit back and watch the magic happen. So I want to do a quick check-in. The past hour and 10, 15 minutes or so, would you guys say that it's been time well spent so far, and that you guys now have so much more clarity on what you guys have with Pixel Scout and the opportunity that you guys all have, right? And the amazing case studies and kind of how we've now stacked that, and we've talked about the 3 secrets and how you guys can justify charging $1,000 a month to run the campaign, right? Have we crushed this? Have we crushed this for everybody? Would you guys all agree that this has been time well spent so far? We're not done yet. All right. How do we fulfill? We're going to talk about that. We smashed it. Amazing. All right. The chat is quite literally blowing up. All right. So, folks, I did my best, right, to get through as much as I possibly could. I was flying, right? I did another training for you guys 2 webinars ago, right, where I talked about cold email and how to prospect for clients, right? And that was a 2-hour webinar. And Rob just did a training with you guys, right? The last webinar, teaching you guys how to actually implement this stuff and do a bunch of the fulfillment. And that was a long webinar, right? So we obviously can't cover everything that we need with just a couple of webinars, right? Even if we quite literally had all day. Okay, so we've been working furiously with Todd and Hart to put together a special offer for you guys so that you guys can quite literally get everything that you guys need to know, okay, and get access as well to a bunch of things that would just be freaking nice to have, like the opportunity for Invisible PPC to help you guys do fulfillment. Okay, so guys, I'm super excited to introduce you guys all to Agency Growth Vortex, which is going to allow you guys to all implement everything that we taught you guys in the last hour, right? From sales training, right, to done for you, yes, done for you sales assets, to fulfillment, and multiple options for fulfillment. We'll teach you guys how to do it step by step, over the shoulder. We'll also just do it for you and for your customers, right? Your call. Okay, but this really is the whole package. You guys are getting the entire enchilada, AKA everything that you guys need. So I'm going to walk you guys through real quick what you guys will get access to inside of Agency Growth Vortex. First and foremost, thing number 1 is you guys are going to get our complete step-by-step guide on how to fulfill yourself. Even if you don't want to do fulfillment, guys, you should still understand how the basics work. So when a prospect asks you something, right, you don't feel squirmish or you don't feel like, oh shit, he just asked me something, I have no idea what to tell him. Trust me, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You just need some base knowledge, all right? So even if you don't want to do fulfillment, you definitely want to at least skim through this, all right? We're going to teach you guys how to run our system following the 3 secrets, right, step by step by step, okay? Thing number 2, you guys are going to get access to white label our 3 secret system, right? Our Omni Vortex fulfillment for your clients and get a 75% margin while outsourcing quite literally all of the fulfillment. All of the fulfillment. So the cost there, right? Rob and I came up with $1,000 setup and $500 a month. Again, the setup is just the cringeworthy part. That's the hard part. And frankly, guys, at the end of the day, after much wrestling, right, with Rob and the fulfillment team at Invisible, we have quite literally smashed this for you. So it's not $1,000 setup and $500 a month, but a $100 setup and $249 a month if you choose to have the team at Invisible PPC do the fulfillment. Okay, so again, you guys are going to get the complete guide over the shoulder, how to do it yourself, how to fulfill yourself. You're going to be able to white label and get that 75% margin. Freaking 75%. Where else can you get a 75% margin, let alone with pay-per-click advertising? Thing number 3, you guys are going to get sales training from me, right? And a bunch of done-for-you assets. One of the first done-for-you assets that you guys will see inside of the members area is an auto webinar, where you guys will be able to quite literally steal our sales funnel and go use it for yourself. Okay, we're going to teach you guys how to run cold emails. What I taught you guys 2 webinars ago was amazing. I got a lot more training when it comes to running cold email though, and you guys are going to get all of that, okay? And much, much more when it comes to sales. Okay, thing number 4, again, guys, I always lean on proof, okay? Because you guys have the opportunity to use Invisible PPC, you guys are going to be able to license their proof. You're going to be able to say, these are case studies from my fulfillment team on retargeting. So when you're going through the presentation, when you're showing somebody, when you're giving an elevator pitch, you have that to lean on. You have case studies, you have proof. And I know for so many of you guys, this is a huge, huge issue. You need something to lean on because you haven't been through all the ropes yet. We're here for you. Thing number 5 is you guys are going to have the ability, if you'd like to refer business to Invisible PPC and just be out right after you refer it. Hey, I'm partnered with Joe and I'm partnered with Rob. They're doing some amazing things. Here's an example, right? Here's a case study, right? Here's one of the quotes that I taught you guys today, and we'll take it from there. And you'll make 50% recurring. So for some of you guys, this is the ultimate quick start. For some of you guys, this is also a way for you to test out the service. Thing number 6, if you choose to go down that white label path, we're going to do white label fulfillment support for you too. So your emails from your customers that say, hey, I had a question. What's the ad sizes that Facebook use? We quite literally have set up the system so your customers will ask those questions to your fulfillment team, aka Invisible PPC, and handle that for you. Why? Because they handle these customers every single day, right? They understand how to solve a customer's needs. They've been doing it for years. Okay, guys, no joke, total value $8,482. And to be frank, guys, we had 2 choices, right? You can see that this is one thought out, ridiculous package. First option was to go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. Second option was require a little higher investment, but in exchange, our team, the Invisible PPC team, can devote way more resources to quite literally all but guarantee your success. And I think you guys can understand which option we went for. Like this, as Alexandru says in the chat, is a no-brainer, bro. And for the first 10 of you guys that jump in, the first 10 of you, I've never done this outside of this offer, folks. Okay, bonus number 1, I personally, Joe Troyer, will close your first deal for you. This is a $1,997 value for the first 10 people only. So guys, essentially,
boom. That's huge. That's fucking massive.
So I'll get on a three-way call with your prospect. I'll tell you, hey, say this to your prospect. We'll do a little pre-game before. You'll bring me up to speed on what's happening. I'll have you do a little intro for me, and then I'll close your prospect for you. So good stuff, right? Bonus number 2 then is we're going to give you guys even more leverage and more proof. See, after we sell somebody the remarketing and retargeting as the front end, right? The Omni Vortex system. Our next upsell is to run all of their search campaigns, right? Google search, Bing search. And so what we wanted to do was arm you guys with a bunch more case studies all around Google search so that you can take that prospect when they come in the door, right? From, hey, this is awesome. I'm excited. Thanks so much for bringing me in, right? These results are amazing to, oh yeah, by the way, in case you want some more leads, check this out. And you can flip them this case study to pre-sell them for the next sale, right? To pre-sell them for the upsell. Okay, so we took our 10 of our favorite niches that you guys frankly should do business in, niches we've proven Google Ads, Google PPC, Google search campaigns for. We've assembled 10 of these, and we'll be giving you guys all of the case studies on how we're successfully driving clients and leads and calls from Google Ads. Okay, so guys, you're gonna get the guide on how to fulfill. We're leaving no rock unturned. You quite literally get everything. Okay, the white label at a 75% margin if you'd like to. Okay, all the sales training from yours truly, right? And done for you assets. What I mean is it's not just theory and fluff and, hey, hope you guys have success with this, right? I'm giving you guys an auto webinar. Guess whose voice is on that webinar? I don't say my name, it's white labeled, it's yours. You guys get to use that to go sell. Okay, you guys get all my cold email training and lots more sales training. A bunch of the stuff in there, again, is really done for you assets that you guys can rip and use yourself. Thing number 4 is licensed proof. Okay, so you're gonna get all of those 10 niche retargeting case studies. And then thing number 6 is the white label support so that we can support your clients on your behalf. Bonus number 1 is I will close your first deal for you, a no joke $1,997 value, right? I'm gonna close them. They're gonna be freaking stoked to do business with you. They're gonna be ready for that upsell, and you're gonna be netting $750 a month. Bonus number 2 is the 10 niche Google search ads case studies. Guys, no joke, total real value, $12,476, right? So at the end of the day, guys, I want you to ask yourself this. If all that this did, if all that Agency Growth Vortex did was finally gave you guys an offer that you could sell as a foot in the door to everyone that was that wide offer, would it be worth it? Of course, right? If all that it did was finally give you the edge to really grow your business at the staggering clip or the staggering rate that you've been wanting and trying and pleading with to grow your business, would it be worth it? And if all that it did was gave you the power to become a thought leader in your circles and with your prospects and with your customers, would it be worth it? I mean, at the end of the day, folks, I want you guys to think about what one new client is potentially worth to you. At the low end, right? $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year with a 75% margin. But you guys got tons of other things to upsell them. You just got to be able to lead with the right front-end product that gets results, right? So how much would you pay to even get a $12,000 per year client? Folks, at the end of the day, we're helping some of the top marketers out there drive more leads and sales with retargeting. And folks, they're paying us $28,000 a year to do it for them. 28 grand a year. So you guys can see why this package is a good deal at $5,000. You can see why when we release it to the general public, we're releasing it for $1,997. But because you guys are special, you guys are going to be able to get started right here, right now, today, for just $997 by clicking the button below if you're watching the replay, if you're live with me right now, right? Signing up at pixelscout.io/vortex. Now, real quick, guys, here's the deal. We worked out a ridiculous special for you guys, all right? You will not see this red slide in the replay. So even if you're jumping in right now, just wait a second, all right? Here's the deal. When the replay goes live, this slide will be edited out. Herc and Todd went to battle for each and every one of you guys on this webinar, okay? You see, this webinar is only for Pixel Scout customers. This is a brand new freaking opportunity that only the invisible PPC customers have even seen. Nobody else in the market has even seen this. Okay, and like I said, they went to battle for you guys. Okay, we're giving each and every one of you guys a big fat coupon. Use the coupon Pixel Scout VIP. Okay, again, this is going to get edited out when the replay goes out. Okay, with this coupon, all of you VIPs get $200 off the special webinar price of $997, all right? So when we put out the replay, it will be closed. Okay, so any quick questions on this? Because again, we're gonna edit this out. So any coupon questions that are gonna get answered live by me, right, on recording in front of everybody, need to come right here, right now.
Hey guys, while you're typing in your questions, I just want to talk about this a little bit with you as well. I hope you guys can kind of see what we've done here. Like, we took you guys through a lot of training. Obviously you bought Pixel Scout, you learned about retargeting and how to prospect retargeting clients. And then we put on a bunch of webinars to teach you as much as we could about how to do everything yourself, right? And there are people who are getting it done. And we know our numbers from multiple software product launches in the past that 80-20 rule is in play here. 20% of people are going to go out there and get stuff done, and the other 80% are kind of they're going to struggle for one reason or another. Okay, so what this offer is for is to help you guys, the 80% of you guys that either don't want to do the sales and fulfillment yourself, or you feel not confident enough to do the sales and fulfillment and yourself. This is your answer. This is literally you guys using Pixel Scout the way you already have been and the way you know how, and then letting someone else, letting Joe's team take care of the rest for you, and you get to leverage them in your sales process. You get to say, look, we're working with a team that, you know, is doing millions of dollars, has thousands of clients. You get to leverage all their testimonials, all their team, all their experience. So your job just became super easy. Just go prospect. Just go prospect. Let Joe and Rob do the harder stuff for you, and your life is now simple. And you even have the two options. You can refer, like this one's brain dead simple. If you wanted to, you could just refer people to Joe and Rob and just keep your percentage. Never talk to anybody. And if you're a little more motivated, you could do the sales yourself. There's just so many options here. And it's really, to me, a brain dead simple thing. If you guys are into Pixel Scout, if you're struggling, if you don't like sales, boom, here's your answer. That's why we wanted this webinar for you guys. And hopefully you guys, give me a 1 if you could hear me, by the way. I hope I didn't have where nobody could hear me.
That was well said.
Yeah, okay, good. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a 2 if you get why we did this. Give me a 2 if you understand now. You know, and we told you guys, we were honest with you that there was gonna be an offer on this webinar. We're not trying to hide anything from you. We're not trying to be sneaky with you guys. We're just taking you down a path in the best possible way. We're giving you the opportunity, like I said, to do it for yourself and giving you the time and the training to try. Now that that's over, guys, that's why this offer is here for you. If you're frustrated or if you're inexperienced, you have the perfect offer on the table right now.
All right, so last call real quick for coupon code questions, right? Pixel Scout VIP is the coupon that you're gonna enter in the checkout, okay?
No, guys, it's not a monthly price. The $797 is not monthly.
Yeah.
Can I just pick up a question on here, Joe, for you?
Yeah.
There's a question here that says, this is good if you live in the States, but what about overseas? It works absolutely fine overseas. I am very much overseas, Carrie. I'm much closer to you than Joe, and I sold a whole bunch of these earlier this week in this country.
All right, so bonus number 3, guys. We're not even done yet, right? We got more to cover. We have literally left every rock turned, right? We have literally given you guys everything that we need. So as earlier, I promised that there would be a way for you guys to pick up Rob's coveted no pitch mastermind presentation, right? Where he went to this mastermind and in front of everybody closed 30% of the room without pitching them, right? Where he essentially showed them here's how you do it, here's why you do it, right? Follow these steps, right? And then once he was done, close 30% of the room, all right? So you guys are gonna get bonus number 3, okay? And just note, please, guys, this bonus is for the first 50 people only, all right? So you guys can get started again for just $997 today by clicking the button below or signing up here at pixelscout.io/vortex, okay? So again, you guys see the big ridiculous package here. Total value $14,473. And again, you can get access by going to pixelscout.io/vortex. So some of you guys are asking, we get 60 days of the $49 charge. What is that? Rob, can you just jump on real quick and talk about all the additional support? Some of you guys are just gonna freaking roll. We're gonna help you guys close more sales. We're gonna close sales for you guys as well. So Rob, would you just come on and talk about the additional support option that we threw out for everybody in the trial we're giving everybody?
Absolutely. So let me explain why we do this. Now, one of the things we know is we've delivered you an awesome webinar that is white labeled, that has Joe on it presenting a killer pitch to your prospects. So that's in there. You can put it on your website, or you can use the pages we provided to put it on your website. You can put it there. Use our resources to do it. But the problem is, let's say you have contacts that you send to that web page. It could be somebody you know, it's somebody you've cold outreached, it could just be a past client, it could be anybody. But then they're on that page and they're watching, but they've got a question. They need help, they've got a comment, just something that would stop them from being a lurker to being a buyer. So on that webinar, we will put, if you want it, a live chat widget that our trained staff will answer for you. So when the webinar starts playing, the widget can pop up and go, hey, I'm here from the fulfillment team. If you've got any questions about what you're seeing, I'd love to help you. I'm right here to stand by and answer any questions that you've got. Want to make sure this is good for you. And that's what we do. We pop up a live chat box so that we can answer questions right away. So can you see, if you've already got the slide deck and you're already putting that to great use, then that's just a killer thing to add on to it, because it closes sales. You can be out doing something else. You can be taking your kids to school, doing other things, and it's there for you. So that is an absolutely killer component of everything that we've got. Then in addition to that, we do other things as well. So we provide you with ongoing support, ongoing training, weekly live trainings. There are some things, as you know from Pixel Scout and the relationship that you have with Todd and Hurt, there are some things that are just actually much better explained live in a call like this, where you can interact, where you can ask questions, where you can do those things that you can't do on watching a video. We're there to take you to the next level with live training, live support on a week-by-week basis to get you move forward. And that's why there's a small charge there. You know, those things and other support we provide you as well, but they're two of the key things that will really drive the difference and ensure that you've got our full support in getting results.
Awesome, man. Well said. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand, right? Like, we're offering 60 days of frankly, folks, ridiculous value, done for you, live chat, sales closing, like things that like actually take resources. They take people. We got to train. We got to hire. It's not like we just recorded 3 more videos for you guys and it's $49 a month, right? So that's what's inside of the 60 additional days that you guys get for free. So if you want to continue after that, right, just $49 a month, quite literally. And I believe that that total value right there is completely 100% right on point. All right, so you guys have really two choices, right? First option, do nothing and everything stays the same, right? No more traffic, no more sales. Business kind of stays at the current clip and current rate that it's growing at or not growing at. The second option is just pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that you guys will be getting in return and just freaking give it a shot, right? The real question is, I believe, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Right? And which, if it does even half of what we've claimed and shown you in case studies we've given you on the webinar, will pay for itself 10 times over in record time. Right? So this is the package. This is what you guys are getting access to. Rob, if we can, real quick, let's handle the top 3 or 4 questions that you guys are seeing so far, and Usman you're seeing so far. Let's get that out of the way, and then there's just 2 or 3 more things I need to walk everybody through, and then we can kind of open it up for Q&A for everybody. So if you got a question, go ahead and type it in the chat, and we'll make sure we get to those quite literally in just the next couple of minutes.
Do you guys mind if I put that first question out there just from what I'm seeing?
Yeah, that'd be amazing, man.
I think there's a little bit of confusion from people just trying to understand like the value of what they're charging clients versus what you're charging to them, like the $249 and stuff. And there's just so many people saying, "What do I charge? What do you charge, etc."
Yeah, so we broke down the attorney example, right? So guys, we recommend, right, in most niches, right, that you charge $1,000 a month. Okay, that is going to be the hard cost to the customer, and they're going to spend $100 a month on traffic, right? We talked about those buckets. Again, 90% of people aren't going to spend over $100 a month on traffic. They just don't have big enough audiences, right? When you look at how many website visitors visited a local business's website, I mean, maybe 50, 100, 200 in a month. Like, there's not enough there's not enough of a pixel size for us to spend a lot of money in retargeting, right? That's it. Okay, so you're going to charge them $1,000 a month. Right? They could spend, for example, $100 a month they could have as their max budget, right, for retargeting, and they're going to pay the networks directly. And then out of the $1,000 that you're getting, you're going to pay us $249 to run the campaign every month, and it's just a $100 setup fee for us to run it. Okay, that includes setting up all the tracking, all that we discussed, right? Making sure that all the calls are tracking, all the lead forms are tracking, all of that. Right? That entire strenuous process, building out all the freaking ads across every platform, setting up all the audiences. Like, to be frank, guys, like, I hope that you guys see the value in just the setup alone, let alone running it every single month for you guys at $249 when you guys are charging $1,000. Does that make sense? The markup, like we said, 75% markup. Mike Cliggett says, holy shit. Yeah, like, guys, we have quite literally shoved everything that we could possibly shove in this package too for you guys, from fulfillment and fulfillment training. Here's how we run sales, right? Here's how we do the fulfillment. Here's a done for you fulfillment option. And the list just goes on and on and on. Like, look at the assets that you guys get on the screen. Like, I can confidently say that there's nobody in the marketplace that can even touch an offer like this.
No. Do you guys get, like, give me a 1 if you get the pricing, give me a 2 if you're still confused, because it's quite simple and some people still aren't getting it. Let me put it to you in another way, guys. You have the opportunity right now to outsource your fulfillment for a $100 setup fee plus a $249 a month management fee. It's that simple. Okay, forget about what you're charging the client, forget about what you're gonna make and profit. You're hiring Joe and Rob to do your fulfillment for $249 a month plus a $100 setup fee per client. If you charge $1,000, that's your 75% markup, or sorry, your 70 margin. If you charge $2,000 a month, your setup fee and your $249 a month fee doesn't change. You're just making more money, right? It's a white label option for you guys, or you can just refer them right to the company and keep a percentage of the commission. Does that make more sense? It's a super, super stupidly cheap way for you guys to no longer have to do any work for your clients, but still keep most of the money. And that, guys, is called leverage. That's how you scale a business. That's how you go from making $1,000 a month doing everything, pulling your hair out, trying to figure shit out, spending all your time at a computer trying to learn, to, I don't need to know how to do any of this. I'm going to just pay Rob and Joe and they're going to do my client, and I'm going to go focus on running Pixel Scout and getting more clients into that funnel. It's that simple, guys. Outsource this. It's easier, it's faster, it's scalable. You're not going to grow to $83,000 a month without help. Trust me on that. And the biggest way I can say this, guys, Todd and I have grown to a software company that has 5 big softwares now, and our team grows as our software sales grow because we need more people on our team so that we can grow. Our expenses go up, yes, but our revenue goes up too. That's scaling, that's leverage, right? And that's exactly what you have for you guys here. And it's cheap. And if you guys have seen webinar 1 with Joe and webinar 2 with Rob, you know they know their shit. You know that you're putting your new clients in good hands, but who's going to look like the hero? Not Job and Row and Job, Joe and Rob. It's you guys that are going to look like the heroes to your client, right? Does that all make sense? I think it does.
I see another question here. Well, 1 or 2 are saying, this is great and all, but I don't have a client. And I think that, we've tried to go over it many times that, Pixel Scout is the answer to finding those that are in need, explaining to them what retargeting is, and then, being able to fulfill that one way or another. Shouldn't be that difficult due to the sheer number of results that Pixel Scout returns to you. I mean, it's just overwhelming, the number of people out there. I mean, and people think, and then I hear other people say, well, I emailed 20 people and no one responded. Well, then give them a call. Try something else, you can't stop at 20. I mean, and a lot of people are mailing, a few hundred people as well. So don't discount that. But the other thing is that what also they're, including in this package, because I know the other flip side of that is, well, I don't feel confident trying to sell somebody something that I've never done before. Well, you're not doing it, so to speak. Rob's fulfillment team is doing it. And that's why they are including the licensed proof. Thing number 6, 10 revenue driving retargeting case studies used to close sales. So number 1, if you can find someone that is interested in getting more conversions to their website using Pixel Scout, you start the conversation, and then they ask you, well, what have you ever done? Well, here's what my fulfillment team has done in the past. We're doing $2 million a month in ad spend. Use Rob's numbers to reinforce that your offer can get the job done. So I hope that answers your question. I forget the name that had kind of posed that out there earlier, but I know it's also in the back of other people's minds as well.
I think another one that's kind of a little bit common too is like so say you have a client on the line, how do you embed them into your guys' network?
Yeah. So Rob, you want to talk about onboarding?
I do. So onboarding is really simple. In our members area, we have an onboarding form. So let's say you get a client and you've said, you've used the simplest sales message in the world that we've used earlier in this webinar train today, and let's assume you're using it to close a client. Hey, how would you like for your business the one thing that you can do for your marketing that makes everything that you're already spending money on more effective? And when you've used that one simple thing and explained it, and that's a great conversation starter at a networking or somewhere else, by the way, when somebody says, what do you do? Oh, I do the one marketing thing that makes all of the marketing better. Really? What the hell's that? Use that line. When you get the client and when they're bitten and when they're on the hook, come into the members area, hit the onboard form. It's a really simple form. We don't want to know a bunch of stuff. All we want to know is who you are, who they are, what their website is, and what you've agreed with them. And then we'll arrange a 3-way call. And that 3-way call will be my team, you, and the client. And what will happen is you'll go on that call. It'll be a 3-way, a Zoom type call, but obviously cameras off. And you will say, hey, brilliant, Mr. Client, to have you on the call today. Delighted here. Can't wait to get this going for you. Now, clearly, I want to make sure that we do this properly for you. So I've brought my onboarding and delivery specialist on. Her name is X, whoever it might be. And I'm going to let them handle the technical parts of this call so we get this absolutely right first time. Would you like to now go ahead? And then you'll let our team step in and we'll say, thank you so much. Right, just got a few questions. And we gather all the information that we need. So by doing that, you don't have to be the expert. All you have to be able to do is introduce a phone call and let us drive it from there. And then we'll pick up the communications and we'll deliver it right through onboarding and live for you, typically within about a week, because as you've seen, there's a lot of work to go on. And then we'll put it live. And then once it's live, if they email in, we'll give you a special email address, which will be, generic email address. So it's your support. We'll answer their support questions. When the end of the month comes and they need a report, we'll send them a white labeled report with all the stats. So we'll even take care of all the reporting for you. And then, Joe, would you like me to mention the other thing we do just now? Or would you like me to mention it later?
How many of you guys would like it if we upsold some of your customers for you? Do you guys like that? If we said, this is going well, congratulations, great job, right? Here are the stats, right? But here's an opportunity that Dennis, that Bill, that your name, right, could help you with. Yeah. Rob, let's share what we got up our sleeve.
So here's one of the things that we do. Now, we know that some of our agency partners don't want to have those client check-in calls. So here's what we need to do with you. Number one thing we need, and you can send it through our members area, is a list of the things that you sell. It could be things we fulfill for you, or it could be things you do already for yourself, your other services. We will, in the middle of month 3, arrange a quarterly check-in call with your client. And that check-in call will be along the lines of, hey, Mr. Client, we're running in a bit. Your Q1 report will be out very soon. Really would like to get on your call with you and discuss the strategy for the next quarter's campaigns. Because we want to future pace them. We're setting them for retention. We're planning ahead what's going to happen in the future months. So we're playing for retention. And when we get on the call, then we then say, okay, great, fantastic. Here's what we've been doing. Here's what we've got planned. Tell me about what campaigns you'd like us to run, what offers you want to promote. Tell me, how are you seeing the results? Is there anything else you think could be working better in your business? And we will upsell them on the other services that they've already got. And when we come off the call, we can go, hey, dropping you a quick message. Joe at this company is thinking about SEO. You want to give them a call? And you can call them and close them. So we can't obviously close it for you, but we can pre-sell your next deal for you as part of our client service.
Then nasty.
Wow. Exactly. We're there because we know as well, and sometimes those services will be services that we can fulfill for you. If it's PPC, for example, and you want us to fulfill it, we can do that for you. If it's SEO and you want to do it yourself, do it yourself. If it's something else, you can do it. What matters is we'll create the opportunities for you. We're really good at maintaining client relationships. We do it every day. So we're there to make you money out of your relationship.
How much money in client ad spend are you guys managing again, Rob?
It's a couple of million a month.
A couple million a month, you guys. You think they know what they're doing with a couple of million a month in ad spend? That's kind of the point of all this. This is just such a no-brainer to me. It's retarded. And there's literally nothing left that we can do for you guys if you don't take this to help you further yourself in your business. We've provided the training on how to do it yourself. And if you are refusing for whatever reason to do it yourself, whether it be fear, whether it be lack of experience, whether it be any of those things, this is now your answer. And if you can't get it done with an offer like this on the table, it's simply, and I hate to say it, guys, because you don't want to. And that sounds harsh.
Can I just add a comment to that as well? I want to give everybody some context here. So in Pixel Scout, they have an email tool and an investigation tool that we know finds people who are prime for this service. We know that because that's what it's designed to do. It then prospects in a really smart way that's hands-off to those people. We can then, using our pages and our pre-recorded white label webinar, send them to a page where you don't even have to have a conversation, and we will then, on the live chat, help close them into a sale for you. Short of walking around and delivering the check personally, I'm not sure what's left.
All right, I just wanted to welcome, I saw Paul King came on, Rob Mosier, I saw Ron Ruiz, Mary, welcome Mary, Aaron, welcome Keith, John, a bunch of you guys coming on at the moment. So if you got another question, I'm sorry, but we just like quite literally buried the entire Q&A box. I'd like to
one thing real quick, I was just side chatting with Herc here, and we decided we wanted to sweeten the deal as well with a little added value here, a little surprise bonus that's not on the slides or anything. But we will also give everyone that purchases here live on the webinar an additional 250 credits, i.e. 2,500 more results added to your Pixel Scout account, because we know that all of you that are picking this up are probably going to be using Pixel Scout a lot more now to get some deals coming in, to send them over to Rob and let him handle it, and you guys can make a lot more money. So for everyone,
I said 2.5.
Excuse me?
This shit's getting silly. This shit is quite literally just getting silly.
Yes, 3Pay included. Anyone that picks this up right now on this webinar, we will add in more credits so that you guys can get to work more, because I know that the initial offer was, you probably, most of you have somewhere between 70 and 120 credits left out of your initial purchase. You probably haven't got a subscription or anything like that yet. So we're going to give you 250 more credits to have, possibly 2,500 more results, which usually equates to 2,000 more opportunities to go out there and contact. All right, guys. So after you've made your purchase, the best way we can do that is just email your receipt into our support desk, supremacy.freshdesk.com. I'm sure all of you guys know that one, and Alex or Tanya will hook you up.
Somebody said that they're having problems with the coupon code.
I heard that a couple times too, and I tested it many times now, and I'm having no problems at all. What I suggest, guys, is maybe refresh that page.
It auto applies. So the price you'll see is after the coupon code is applied, and you'll see it discounted. So the price you see is the discounted price.
Okay, great. And
Dorn, I just said everyone who picks this up, you get extra 250 credits. So you can do a lot more searching, prospecting. Just submit a support ticket at our support desk with your receipt, and Alex and Tanya will immediately hook you up. They are typically working between the hours of 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So big window there. Big window there to help you out. Cool.
Chuck said, just make sure you leave out the exclamation points. It works just fine. So if you guys have a problem though with it, obviously our support desk can help as well. I want to make sure that if you guys have a question, PPC related question, that you guys know our help desk URL as well. We'll make sure to put that in the chat for you guys as well.
Let's see. There's still a ton of questions.
I can knock out real quick. Sorry, Herc. Do you do stuff with LinkedIn as it's not in the course? No, we do some retargeting. We have it as an option. We can retarget through LinkedIn. In terms of prospecting, though, we don't really prospect through LinkedIn, Keith. But I'm not sure kind of where your question was leading. Another good one I'm seeing is, will you install the pixels, right, across, from all the different platforms? Do you install those on my client site if we do the white label or the referral program? So, Rob, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. The short answer is no. We provide them for you, and you get the client to install them. And or you charge the client to do it yourself. And there's a really good reason why that's the case. because the clients have got hundreds and hundreds of different platforms with different configurations. At any moment in time, if you make a change on their website and something gets broken, then whether it was related to us or not, we get the blame. So we don't. So what we do is we use Google Tag Manager and our own tracking platform as well that we're working through, and we give you the code to put on the website. Either you can do it if you're comfortable and you're happy to charge the client for it. Perhaps it's a website you built for them already, so you know your way around it. And if it isn't, we ask them to do it. It's really simple. They can generally get it done very, very straightforward. We do this every day of the week, but we don't touch their websites because it can have repercussions. Nobody wants that phone call.
Awesome, fantastic, good stuff. I hope that makes sense, Jan. Thank you for the help with the payment plan. You got it, Vixen, not a problem at all. The client likes using LinkedIn for his business. Yeah, so we would definitely want to retarget through LinkedIn, right, Keith? So one of the things that that makes this product so awesome is customers can quite literally see themselves in the product. What I mean by that is everybody visits their own website, right? So then what happens after that? Right? They see themselves everywhere. They start seeing their retargeting ads, right? And so it's like, it's almost an ego play, but it works so well and it costs so little and it gets so many more leads that it's like, it's great. It's like the billboard that is converting around the clock 24/7 without the billboard price, right?
Exactly, Joe. That's a really good point, because don't forget what else happens here. And we know this because we deal with enough clients to see how they behave. Clients think about digital services. Just want to give this context. Most things that we sell in digital services are intangible. The clients don't actually see what we do. You know, we sell SEO, for example. They might get a report at the end of the month. We sell pay-per-click. They might see their own ad because they keep searching their own ad and they look at once at a time. But with this, they're everywhere. They can, because they're always there on their own website. They can see themselves on YouTube. They can see themselves on Facebook. They can see themselves in Gmail. They can see themselves on Google Display Networks, all over the place. But just as importantly, they'll tell their friends at whatever clubs they're part of. And before you know it, they have these conversations, and I've seen these happen firsthand, where somebody walks into a room and goes, "Dude, your face is everywhere. You must be absolutely killing it. And I'm seeing you everywhere." And it creates a perception. It creates the big fish impression, which makes them feel good. How much of what we do makes clients feel good? This makes them feel good.
So we got somebody asking if we create banners. So yeah, guys, we do all of it. Quite literally, we've taken all of the hard work, right? And we're offloading that to Invisible PPC on your behalf. We're teaching you guys how to sell it. We're giving you done-for-you sales assets, right? Like, we are leaving no rock unturned, right? So somebody asked what that $100 setup fee is, and then what's the $249 a month? That $100 setup fee includes all the tracking setup, right? That onboarding call that accounts for us setting up all the accounts and all the campaigns and all the pixels. All that's included. And then the $249 is us to manage that campaign every month for your customer while you're making $1,000 gross a month, right? So just wanted to make sure that we hit that one hard again. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, and just to reinforce that point, Joe, basically anything that looks like work, we do it. From creating accounts, creating campaigns, sorting out all the tracking setups, building all the audiences, creating all the banners, creating the video, creating the monthly report, doing the calls, answering the customer service questions. If it's something that looks like work, we're doing it.
That's a beautiful thing. Let's see, John is asking about Australia, and is it okay in Australia? Yes, 100%. You can go sell this, guys, quite literally anywhere, right? As long as a business needs more website visitors, as long as they need more leads, more conversions. There are some little sticky scenarios in terms of some weird niches where like maybe one network won't work. Right? But because we're using so many of the different networks, right? We shared with you, we're using Google and Gmail and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, right? And Google Display Network and Traffic Fuel. Because we're using all the platforms, if one doesn't work, it's not really a big deal at all, right? It doesn't really matter.
And that's kind of a really important point, actually, because of these guys. There's always an option. There is always an option. And if they haven't got an option, I can guarantee the networks we've got access to, their competitors won't have access to. Because they don't think that far ahead. One question I often get asked, and I just want to raise it, is what if they've got an agency already? And then what if they've got an agency or they've got campaigns running already? Really simple. We said it earlier. Oh, if you say, are you doing retargeting? And they say, actually, yeah, I think so, I might be. Oh, are you doing omni-targeting? I go, huh? What's omni-targeting? Well, it's retargeting across all these platforms with different ads, with different messaging over different periods of time. And they go, no, we're definitely not doing that. Definitely not doing that. And you've got an immediate answer. And you go, oh, if you're working with an agency, I'm surprised they haven't mentioned it because it works really well. I would have thought an agency would mention that. So you can immediately unseat an agency just by raising the question. So even if you walk in and they've got somebody on board, that is not game over by any stretch. This very day, 4 hours before I started this call, we got a call in from somebody who said, I've got somebody running my Google ads today. I think they're doing an okay job. They've seen competent enough, but they don't do any of this stuff that you do. Would you mind doing the retargeting stuff and taking over my clients for me? It was my first conversation with these people. They signed up on the spot for $2,500 a month.
There's something kind of cheeky about this, right? When somebody has an existing agency or existing marketing person, and you're just like, what do you mean you're not doing omni targeting? And they're like, what's omni targeting? And you tell them, and they're like, yeah, I should be doing omni targeting. And then you're like, aren't you concerned why your agency hasn't been? Right? And then fear and kind of panic sets in. I mean, an absolute beautiful thing. I mean, obviously the agency isn't doing it because fulfillment is such a nightmare, right? It's so difficult. There's so much to do. Like it is very, very overwhelming.
Absolutely. Yep. Everybody, we get the same response every time. How do you do that for the price? Every time. And that was the first thing that this guy said today when I then charged him $2,500 for the total package.
Do you guys mind if we do our credit giveaway real quick here?
Yeah, man, that would be great.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna grab the screen again because we're gonna do the same thing that we did on the last webinar.
Ooh. Watch the attention go up.
All right, so somebody says, what's Vortex? Vortex is what we call the program, right? Everything is Vortex, Omni Vortex, Omni. So I hope that helps. Somebody's asking, how quickly from first contact to first sale? Tony, we quite literally, when we rolled this package out to our customers internally, we had people that the same day and the next day upsold customers or sold new customers the product, right? So like how quickly from first contact to sale on average is like, it's a really loaded question, right? Because we have, you know, a bunch of people that still haven't sold one customer. We got a lot of people that have onboarded multiple customers. I think we have one gentleman that today alone was onboarding 3 or 4 accounts just today. So Tony, I hope that helps give you some perspective, Tony Arnold, but that's kind of like, it's just a hard question to answer, man. What is average is the key, right?
Yeah, and I just an answer a comment on that as well. I had somebody text me before we came on this call who went out to a past client today and just text me this evening and say, go on, let's get them on board in. And all that was a past client that they haven't done business with for about 18 months.
So can we talk about how, Rob, kind of there's some quick start stuff that we do to try to get people to get their first sale quickly? Can you kind of talk about
come up with some things,
a couple of kind of swipe and deploy techniques that we give people?
Absolutely. So we know the first thing that matters most, anything, is how quickly you can hit the ground running. You know, that's important. So we've come up with, I guess, 2 approaches to sales. There is everything we've talked about with the done for you, white label, webinar that you can put on a website, you can cold email, you can do Pixel Scout prospecting. That's great. but that's effort, and that might take time. So what we've also come out with is some really simple templated actions you can take. So for example, we've got a social media message that you can post, really non-confrontational, really non-threatening, that has been proven time and time again to get clients. And that you could do within an hour of this session finishing. Just log in, copy and paste the message, edit it to suit your personality, perhaps stick a funny picture with it, away you go. We've also given you templates for how to go to existing customers. If you have existing customers, email templates, call scripts, you can just go. Speak to them, email them, go into those guys. We've also done past customers and past prospects. So again, even people who didn't buy for you at one point for whatever reason, that doesn't matter. That was another day with another offer. Today's different. And we know already people are getting results doing that. And finally, we'll show you how to present to a room. No pitch style. We've talked about it as one of the bonuses. It's a great way to, if an accountant like me can present without a pitch and pick up clients, that's a fantastic thing to be able to do. So all of those are designed to get you moving really, really quickly.
Right, man, I'm still scrolling through the chat, man. There's so many people in here. There's so many numbers. I've never seen so many numbers on a webinar, I don't think. Engaging everybody, right, the whole way through the webinar. Give me a 1, give me a 9, whatever. And then the giveaway that the gentleman just did. I mean, there's so many numbers. I can barely get through here. I mean, it's ridiculous.
1,420 million.
You just got. Sorry, and then on top of that, you just got, holy shit, I'm freaking excited, dropping F-bombs all over the place. I mean, this is a fun chat just to kind of go through. I mean, I'm excited just to read this later. This will be some good reading material.
This will be some long reading. Yeah, so Tony says, do clients pay us? Yeah, clients pay you. You've got two options. Clients pay you, you take all the money, and then you decide whether you want to work with us or whether you want to do it yourself, or even if you want to use somebody else to do the work for you. You have those three options there in terms of fulfillment, but client can pay you. Then, if you don't want to do that, and if you just feel, I'm just getting started in this, I don't want to the responsibility of taking on clients, all the things that goes with it, but I'm really good at just rustling up a quick conversation and having a chat with people, I'll refer the business. And if you refer the business, the client pays us directly on our shopping cart, and we split the money with you 50-50. We don't make any deductions for charges or fees or anything. It's 50-50, straight down the middle, and it's for the lifetime of that client. So it's not a 1 month thing, it's for the lifetime of that client. You get 50-50.
I mean, the thing with the referral program too, guys, is like, it's not even really 50-50. Like, just to be honest, like, it's more like 60-40 in your favor, right? Because you guys get off of gross, right? So, $1,000 a month, for example, if it was sold for, you guys get 500 right off the top, right? We got to pay the credit card fees or the PayPal fees or, the 7%, the 10%, whatever all the fees end up being, right? Like, you guys don't. We just take 50% off the top and give it to you.
We think it's just the easiest way to do it. We think it's the easiest, it's the fairest, right? And Joe's absolutely right. We've got hard costs, we've got fulfillment costs and things to do. Hopefully, you have very little of those. So it's a great deal for you. And it lasts forever. It's one sale made once, get paid forever. Brian asks if you have set fees for that. We have on our shopping cart today, $6.95 a month and $8.95 setup, because we pitched it there just to be in the middle somewhere, so that it's great for you to refer, it's easy to refer, but it's not super high. So if you're not prospecting to lawyers, it's not going to put them off, but it's not super low that anybody feels like we're trying to compete with them. It's kind of in the middle there to make it fair. Now, what we've done for some people is we've been able to come up with something custom if they've got a very specific market they're going after. So if you are, the king of the florists, and you've got a network of 1,000 florists, then talk to us and we'll work something out that works for everybody. But $6.95 we found to be a great starting point, and that seems to be very successful so far.
Love this. Christy Lewis says, Joe, value follows you around. Man, that's awesome, Christy. Thank you so much. In my emails, guys, I literally sign my emails, Joe, more value, Troyer. Like, we have done everything that we possibly can to make this a win all around, right? Somebody says, can you add this? It's like, yeah, sure, no problem, got you, right? We are doing everything that we possibly can to give you guys quite literally no excuse, right? What if we do a webinar for our clients? So yeah, Vixen, you get a webinar with me pitching and presenting, but I don't say it's Joe Troyer from Invisible PPC, right? I do no introduction of myself. So you can use that as a white label and send somebody to a webinar, right? That's proven to convert, right? You can say my fulfillment team, the head of my fulfillment team did the presentation. You can not say, right, if you want as well. And I'm going to be there closing on your behalf, right? Give me a 9 if you guys think that I could help you guys, each and every one of you guys, close some deal if I was there live for you running a webinar, right? Of course I freaking could, right? And so that's what you guys are quite literally getting, is I recorded a webinar presentation for you guys and I don't introduce myself, right? And you guys get to make the introduction or make that bridge happen. It's already done. As soon as you guys log in, you guys will have access to that. And so you have the webinar that you can download. You guys could run that on GoToWebinar if you wanted. You guys could run that like as an auto webinar. And the auto webinar is how we have it set up. And we've quite literally given you guys the rest of the entire funnel. Are auto webinars, good? Yeah, 100%. People make millions of dollars a day running auto webinars. We've given you our auto webinar funnel and quite literally giving you guys the ability to copy and paste that into your own business. So I mean, just the auto webinar functionality, forget fulfillment, just the sales side of it is nuts. Right? Then we got the chat pop on the webinar page to engage the people that you send there where we're doing done for you sales. Like, are you kidding me? Like, guys, like, we have quite literally turned over every rock. Like, and chances are, right, if you say, we really need this, and we're on the webinar training you guys like we do every week, and 10 other of you guys are like, we really need this, what do you guys think is going to happen, right? Like, we're invested in you guys absolutely crushing this program. So, good stuff. Can we see the auto webinar? Yeah, it's sitting right inside the membership area, Mike. And again, you can like go to the funnel, you can copy the funnel, you can just download the video if you want to put it on your own funnel or don't want to use ours, like whatever you want. Oh, wow, the auto webinar would be bomb. I have the software. Yeah, so you can just rip it and deploy it. You guys all rock. Thanks so much, Mark.
And as usual, Joe, I spend my whole time here typing like a crazy person because there's so much activity going on in the chat. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, there's still.
Herky still hammering the chat too?
Yeah, sorry about that. I noticed I wasn't muted when I was typing there. Sorry.
All good. No worries, boss. I think that, like, I don't see any more questions really coming in that we haven't answered. I don't know about you guys, but there's one that I just saw that I think is important. So Jillian Schupert, great freaking question, all right? So this is something that you guys are gonna have to address for yourselves, whether you guys jump into Invisible PPC and we help you guys address it, or just something that you guys are gonna have to address for yourselves if you go out to the market, right? Without us. Okay, so Jillian, this one's for you, Rob, says, is the only way to do this for website visitors or for customers who already have traffic? What if they don't have traffic, right? Rob, can you kind of touch on this? Or what if they have little traffic? I mean, at the end of the day, lots of local websites have 100 or 200 visitors a month, and that's it, right? So what if you're talking with a prospect and that's all that they have? Is this still going to work? What are the requirements, so to speak?
Right, great. And by the way, it's a really smart question to ask because somebody's bound to ask you that at some point. So a few things to think about here. So let's think about the platforms first, places like Google, like Facebook, like Traffic Fuel, what do they make the minimum that actually is a viable audience that can run on their platforms? Well, on Facebook, it's an audience of 20. On Google, it's an audience of 100. So we've got Traffic Fuel is in between, I think it's 30. So we've got a hard bottom level there. If somebody can't get 20 people to their website a month, then we need to do something else about that. The best thing to do about that, there's two things I'm going to tell you. Thing number one is run a competition for them. Run a simple competition that drives traffic to their website, which you can charge for. Doesn't have to be anything technical or complicated at all. Just a simple giveaway of something. It can be local restaurant vouchers. It can be theatre vouchers. Something locally that can be given away that they can drive traffic. That's option number one. Really simple. And that will just kickstart this whole process. Option number two that will work really well as well. If they have any customers for whom they have their email address or past customers, then who saw my training on Tuesday where I showed you how to put retargeting pixels in email? Have them email their past customers an offer. Two things will happen. Thing number one, they'll sell some stuff because of the offer. Thing number two, they'll activate their tracking audiences. And then if you're really good, sell them another service like pay-per-click or SEO or Facebook traffic. You've got plenty of options. It need not be a blocker. And that's assuming that they're so small they can't get 20 visitors to their site a month. I hope that makes sense.
So I was talking about, getting 100 or 200 visitors. Rob's like, yeah, they only need like 30. So that should apply to every quote unquote Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, right? I mean, good stuff.
Yeah, I think there are 2-year-old YouTubers who get more than 20 visitors a month.
What else do I see? Herc, is it cool? Todd, is it cool if I do kind of a roundup, one last call for alcohol? I mean, support questions?
Yeah, Joe, I think we're about good. Been on 2 hours to 45 minutes, and
Yeah.
whew,
I mean, it's drying up. We'll stick around here and answer them all, and I know you guys will too, but let's do one last call and we can run out for everybody real quick.
yeah, that's it, guys. We're gonna definitely 10 more minutes max. And by the way, for those of you, a couple of guys asking when do we get the 3-pay email, whatever. Well, Rob will be in contact.
I will be in contact within an hour of this finish. I'm currently quite busy hosting a webinar.
Rob Warner, can you explain how the referral program works and how we've slickly set that up, and also address how soon that they get paid on that 50% referral program?
So the referral process, how does that work? We put our shopping cart and we give you code for our shopping cart to put where you like, but actually the easiest way is to refer it to one of our web pages. You refer them to our web page with your affiliate link, which is a really simple thing to set up. It's the same process we use to take payments here is the same process we get paid by clients. You can register as an affiliate on there, and the links are all in the platform in the members area, so you can see where to get those links and register it. And anywhere that link gets shared, you get a 50% instant payout. So I can't make it any faster than instant.
So one question about that though is the customer doing so say for me, if I wanted to refer people to you, am I handling the sale and then referring them to your card? How is your cart a static price or a variable price, or how does that work?
Cart's a static price. I think this is something we mentioned. So the cart's a static price. So there's a static price of $6.95 a month there currently. If somebody has something exceptional, a reason why they want to do a deal different, we can talk about that and we can create something for that if it's right to do so. So it isn't set in stone, but the current page that you can send people to is a $6.95 offer. Send them to that page, So you need to pre-sell them. You need to, you're earning a 50% lifetime commission. So you need to earn a lifetime commission by making a sale and then referring it to the page. And that's the easiest way to do it. So, do a sales job, tell the customer what the pricing is going to be, explain what they're going to get, and all that information to do that's in our members area, and then send them to the payment link. We always take payment up front, online, then it's easier and cleanest for everybody.
Yep.
Love it.
Somebody asked, do we use ThriveCart? You're right, Dorn, right? We use the same shopping experience. We use the same checkout experience that you guys just all quite literally went and looked at or went through and completed. Okay, super simple, doesn't get any easier than that. And the affiliate commissions are quite literally instantaneous.
I love that option. Personally, I just think it's brilliant what you guys
You can have that conversation at the bar. You literally can have that conversation in the bar.
Yeah. I can run retargeting ads for your business for $700 a month. And then you just pass them a link and they go sign up and
make it a pretty link. Make it your website link. So you give them a link and they just redirect. That's how you do it.
You could literally be building out a funnel, to funnel people through to explain the process of all this, and then lead them to your guys' checkout page. And this can all be done with bots. This can be done with email, and it can be done with Pixel Scouts report generation, where you're leading them into that funnel, because you guys know that when people are requesting more info, we have it set up in Pixel Scout that once they say yes, they want more info, you can redirect them to wherever you want, right? So there could be a redirection there into a funnel that you've created to talk about retargeting, to educate about retargeting, and even using your guys' auto webinar sequence, you could be retargeting people who are filling out that form right into that funnel, right into the checkout. And all you're doing all day long, once that's set up, is just contacting businesses using Pixel Scout. It's just like so simple and so easy.
Yeah. Another way you could do it. Take either Joe's webinar recording or my slide deck from my presentation, my no pitch, give it at your local BNI and put your own referral link on the end of it and say, if you want it, go here. and sit down and go and enjoy your coffee. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Unfortunately, though, guys, if you're not buying this offer today, you don't have access to that, of course. So we can't give out the landing page and stuff like that to you guys. You have to become part of the system to get that offer.
Absolutely. And one thing I would say as well to that is one of the reasons that we do that is because, there are right things to say about this. This is an easy offer to understand, but there is a right way to explain it still. There are good expectations to set, and there are bad expectations to set. We want to make sure that everybody has access to the same quality information and knowledge. So when you do make a sale, you make a good sale. Nobody wants an unhappy customer, especially us. So we want to make sure that we're working with people who make good quality sales, and that's why we bundle it in with the training.
Yeah, that's smart, Adrian. He said he did a website for a local DJ. He's going to pitch him on this. Yeah. Guys, think back to all the people you've ever worked with in your life. As an example, I just got married a couple of years ago, and all the vendors that we had to be in contact with and work with. So we hired a photographer, we hired a videographer, we hired a DJ, we hired a caterer. I mean, all these people are already people that I've been in contact with, know me, hopefully like me, or my wife, right? That we could go back to and say, hey, by the way, just if you're interested, this is something that we do, and just reach back out to those people. Those aren't really cold leads, but they're not really warm leads, but they're not cold either. You already have a relationship established with them. And that goes beyond just people you met. It's like people friends that stuff like that, right? So just open up your mind a little bit to the people you could be just having a conversation with. You're not trying to sell anyone. You could just, have a slight conversation. And there's lots of great ways to get new business. And hey,
I'll expand on that just a little bit. I'm in another mastermind group, and I picked this up the other day. And one of the things that we try to do is, expand our reach in our business. And the host of the group always comes back to this one book called The Power of Who. It's $12 on Amazon. I just put the link in your chat, not an affiliate link, just a link to a book called The Power of Who. The title is You Already Know Everyone You Need to Know. So go check it out. And that just expands on what Herc just said. It's powerful stuff if you just put that into the back of your mind and let it go to work.
What do you do? Well, what do you do? Oh, I bring businesses new leads for like pennies on the dollar. Happens all the time. It's like the norm of people that meet and don't know what to talk about. You know, what do you do? Work on that pitch with people, because it could lead to
a marketing campaign that makes every other marketing more effective, and it just costs pennies on the dollar. Wait, what?
Oh, and by the way, guys, this wasn't talked about yet. That retargeting explainer video is being worked on right now by the guy. We were hoping to have it done for today's webinar, but he's like, no, listen, I'm doing this really, really well. He's like, I'm doing a good job on this explainer video. You guys already know we got donated a professional Hollywood voiceover script over the script I wrote, and that video is going to be huge for you guys when trying to explain retargeting to clients. And it's funny that Joe showed the Amazon example with a Bluetooth speaker, because that's exactly what I used in that retargeting script to explain what retargeting is. That is coming. It's not coming today, unfortunately, because the guy's, like I said, he's taking his time to do a good job. But my words to him were, listen, I prefer quality over speed, and that's why it's taking a bit longer. You guys, when you get that product, and we're going to give it to you for free, it's going to be huge for you guys, and explaining the simplicity and power of retargeting to your audience. So that is coming, hopefully early next week.
All right, guys. Well, I think we are coming to the very end here. So I want to thank each and every one of you. I'm not sure what Joe is saying there. But, you know, guys, right there, pixelscout.io/Vortex. You know, recommend you guys go out and pick that up. It's kind of just the last step in, you know, fulfilling, you know, all that there is of Pixel Scout. You know, we hope we've, you know, taken you down the path of all the different angles that Pixel Scout, all the different angles and ways to use Pixel Scout to, you know, either start a business. If this is your first time ever starting a business, I cannot think of a better way to start a digital marketing agency than what we presented you over the last few weeks. And this was my vision a long time ago, many months ago, when this first came dancing through my brain. And it has developed a little bit over time as well. You know, Herc's had just a tremendous amount of input and vision in it as well as Dino Gomez, and as well as Joe and Rob. They came into the picture in March, and wow, really, you know, opened my eyes to even greater possibilities and opportunity for all of you to really get a handle on what this is. And for those of you that already have established agency, I know there are many users of Pixel Scout that already do service clients in the digital marketing space and are doing quite well. I see guys, you know, picking up stuff. You know, I see names, I see receipts. I'm very tuned in to what's going on, and as well as Herc. Don't get me wrong. Everything I say about me and Herc are, you know, in lockstep. You know, we pay attention to everything and everybody. It's not just, hey, support staff, you know, do everything. No, we are in constant conversation all day, every day. Right, Herc? I think he's still there.
Yes.
Okay, you're muted. Yeah, so So guys, I see guys, you know, that have been through the journey, through my internet marketing journey, for 20 years, still, you know, carrying along, still being successful, still adding to their repertoire, still adding to their tools. I add to my tools every day, you know, and like Herc said earlier, you know, we didn't expand and scale by not, you know, increasing our expenses, basically. You know, but we have a much bigger team now. We get more things done quickly. We have great systems in place, and you know, that's just a cost of doing business. And what Joe and Rob have offered here is kind of just a final step, you know, in fulfilling what I know you guys can sell, because retargeting is just such an easy thing to understand, because everyone on the planet that uses a computer that has, you know, ever, you know, looked at things online are being retargeted, whether they know that or not. They think it's creepy, like, oh, Big Brother's watching me. You know, no, you're just being retargeted. So I know you guys get that already, so I won't beat that up too much. But for those of you that, you know, have trouble with, you know, getting in there into the nitty gritty of the ad managers and setting up ads and creating a banner and creating the copy for the banner, you know, we understand that. And that is the main reason we brought Joe and Rob on. But we also brought them on to teach and train. And we really hope we did a really good job. I know we did. And I know Joe and Rob did a really good job of coming on here on the last two previous webinars. If you have not seen those, I encourage you to go to the webinar training area and just watch the last 4 or 5. Pure value, pure training, trying to get you guys over the edge if you need it. Like I said, I know there's a lot of guys on this webinar right now. I know there's a lot of guys that get our emails every day that are uber successful in what they do. They just kind of pay attention to what we do because, you know, we've been doing this for a really long time too. And, you know, I tend to think that we think ahead of the curve a little bit. I know we've made some products come out and do things before anyone else. I don't want to start talking about all of those triumphs, but it's been really fun, and I can't be more thankful and proud of where we are today. So that's all I have, guys. We will obviously have another webinar coming up. We are going to be doing some more training in the weeks to come. I'm sure we have something planned for next Tuesday. I'll go ahead and let you know right now. It's about bots. All right, Herc has a big spiel coming up next Tuesday on how to integrate messenger bots into your marketing as well. So be sure and attend next Tuesday. We'll probably have some cool giveaways as well on that webinar and moving forward. So that's all I got. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Rob. Thank you, Mr. Herc. Thanks to everyone in the background there, Usman, Alex, Tanya, everybody back out there helping everybody, you know, get through this 3-hour marathon. But I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I'm from looking at the chat right now, everybody is saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done, great webinar, all of those kinds of things. We really, really do appreciate it. We certainly appreciate all the massive interaction that you guys brought today. Truly sensational. And it shows me that you care. And it shows me that you're thinking. And it helps us think. The more you talk to us, the more we understand your concerns. The more we understand, the better we are at coming up with things that can help you. So we really, really do appreciate it from the bottom of the hearts. And that's why we do our damnedest to get as many people on these webinars as possible. And we try to have fun, and we try to get everybody to, you know, feel like one big happy family and just talk to us and let's get it on. So I guess that's all I have. Herc, do you have anything to add to that?
No, man, I think you guys nailed it. Everybody did a great job.
22.
Right on. Okay, everybody, have a great evening, and we will catch you here back next Tuesday.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone. Have fun.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Rob. Bye, guys.
See you, fellas.